All right. Good morning, everybody. If you can hear me and if the mic sounds good audio wise, hit that number 1, please. Again, if you can hear me and if the mic sounds good, hit that number 1, please. Kevin, Maddie, John, Mitmont, Arslan, Jocko, Josie. Very good. Perfect. Zach, thank you. Very quickly, for those of you that watch us in the archive, thank you very much. But to be very upfront and quite frankly, just blunt with you, if you want to have something to continue to watch in the archive, this is totally viewer supported. And the way you can support the stream is to save yourself money at the same time by using code CLAY, which is case sensitive. So make sure it's all caps CLAY. But if you use any of these prop firms, whatever their current promotions and deals and discounts they're offering, code CLAY will get that for you. So you're quite literally saving yourself money while at the same time helping to support the stream and ensure that you continue to have something to watch in the archive. For all of you that are here live right now and that have used the code, thank you very much. You all are the reason why not only does the stream remain ad-free, but why I just continue to show up day in and day out. Because, yeah, it mathematically makes sense for me to be here, which is important. As a father of 6 kids, I need to be good with my time. I need to be very mathematical with my time. So, yeah, using code CLAY helps with that. So, thank everybody that has used it and continues to use it. Well, I have quite this. I mean, it's long story short, I almost cooked this account right before the stream. I got short here thinking that it'd pull back a little bit. The only good thing I did was I started very, very small. I was like, just in case. I really don't want to cook it just in case. So let me give myself some flexibility. And I'm glad I did because got up to 32 MNQ. Was it a good trade? Was I getting stubborn and a little fearful that I was about to cook an account right before the stream? Yeah, but this pullback here was all I needed, so I think I hopped out like right there. Yes, I left a lot on the table, but at that point, I was just happy to get out with a slight green trade there. But yeah, I was like, am I really about to cook this account 2 minutes before the stream? Thankfully, the answer was no, it wasn't. But man, it was scary for a second. But yes, good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, August 19th. The year is 2026, and we have had great movement today. The past couple weeks, it's been, for a lot of people out there, complaints about the price movement and man, things are, but today I don't want to see any of those complaints. No, maybe if you have enjoyed the past couple of weeks of price action, I would assume today you're like, man, this is not very good price action for me and my strategy. But yeah, I think the action has been, I have no complaints about the action. I'll put it that way. Hey, KD Sweaty. Been a while since I've seen you. But yeah, good to see ya. Used it 2 times the name, had to purchase the... Thank you, Junkie. Yeah, thank you for using code CLAY, brother. But yeah, how are all your days going so far? Green, red, terrible, fantastic, worst day ever, best day ever. Qualified for a payout, no payout. Pretty good green, blue one. Yeah, I saw that Mitmont. Yeah, that's true. That's a good description of it. Maddie, from big red to now small. Wow, good job, Maddie. Yeah, chasing the short could have got... Well, it depends on where you chased. I mean, this was a big short right here. So you could have chased that and been just fine. But yes, if you chased at the wrong location down here, that move there, essentially game over. Best green didn't look good. Great to hear, Zach. Up 1K so far. Good job, Kevin. Green now. Cooked one account by. Those are the worst. Well, I guess I'm assuming BMR Junkie, but hopefully that was just an eval, not like a pro account or something. Solid day, 630 on both accounts. Good job, Evil. Very good. Don't even worry about passing, though. You're close to passing. That's good to broadly know, but just keep on trading. Trade your setups. So right now we are kind of in a tricky spot for me because, yeah, we do have like a little miniature bull flag, bull pennant, whatever you want to call it, but it is still technically in kind of an overall downtrend. So these are the situations where it's just hard for me to have a lot of confidence. Doesn't mean that this bull pennant can't break out. But But yeah, if this bullpen were to fail, I don't think anybody should really be shocked about that. Yeah, are you still trading Z3? I just asked because per your own admission in the private chat, you were on tilt. So I'm not. If you are still trading, I mean, I know once you're on tilt, the I don't care voice or the shut your mouth voice is somebody else. So you tell me to shut my mouth, I'm not offended. I've been there before. I have the shut your mouth voice too. When I'm doing stupid things and people try to help me out, shut your mouth. I've said before, you just locked your accounts. Good job. Way to overcome the tilt voices and good job. Does anybody else have the shut your mouth voice? Like when you're on tilt and then maybe somebody tries to chime in and point things out that you know are true, but because the shut your mouth voice is winning, you just tell them to like shut up and let me do my thing. I have that voice. Not a good one. That is why people here that are veterans, I will never, if they're just not being themselves, that's why I just put them in timeout because I've been there. I'm not holding it against them. Like I am not offended at all. Because I don't know, 9 out of 10 will come back and say, hey, Clay, sorry about that. I was having a bad day. To which I say, no problem, man. That's why I put you in timeout and it wasn't a ban because, yeah, the shut your mouth voice and it can be very powerful. Upgraded my horse to racehorse last night. I was late for open today. All right, Gurpreet. Sounds good. Good job. My tilt is a firestorm inside of. Well, Z3, I mean, you did stop it. Your accounts are locked, so I guess in theory, if you wanted to, you could fire up another account to continue on the tilt. But as far as your current accounts, good job. Hey, what's up, JB8? Hopefully you enjoyed the webinar last night. I'll tell myself to shut up, so sure, not listen to any. Yeah. All right, have a good one, Katie. Thanks for swinging by, brother. Yeah, it'll make more sense, JB. The more of the classes you go through, the more light bulbs. Like, oh, okay, yeah. Now that webinar, that thing in the webinar, that makes sense more. Okay, so yeah, just keep going through, and especially once you get through RVR trading and shorting for profit, you get through those two classes, and then the webinars are going to make that much more sense. But yeah, overall, from where you are in your journey and the classes, good job. All right. Do I really buy? Is this actually a bullish pullback? I don't know. Again, let's consider the context here. Context here is some pretty big downwards movements. Maybe this is finally bullish. That is completely possible. But I think it's equally as possible. I don't know if it goes to new lows, but buying the pullback right here, I'm not convinced that's a smart thing to do. Does trade of 8 seem sluggish to anyone? Not that I've noticed. I can test real quick. Nope, that was fast. Fast. So no, it does not seem sluggish to me. Using horizontal lines for support and resistance over vertical lines. Oh, you mean lines at like an angle? Because in my mind, this is the vertical line. I think what you mean is just like that. Lines at an angle, not a vertical one. TIA, no, huh? Legendary. Are we getting at legendaries? Dr. Jekyll and Hyde. Who's the bad one? Jekyll? Which one's the bad one of Dr. Jekyll and Hyde? I think Jekyll's the rough one, isn't it? Mr. Hyde's the bad one? Really? Jekyll sounds so much evil, though. Okay, I need one more confirmation. These two guys could be gaslighting me. Hyde is the bad? Oh. Really? Oh man. I think I read that back in English class in the day, but clearly I've forgotten. Okay, well, hopefully, BM, we're not. This is not Hyde. Hopefully, past few days have been Jekyll, which we've appreciated. Well, I'll only speak for myself, which I've appreciated. All right, is this a potential short? Maybe. NQ is at the daily VWAP, potential bounce towards longs. Yeah, well, the MNQ is also right here at the previous session close. I need to just, after this trade here, let me just calm down a little bit. What's interesting though is I wonder the people that were playing the bull pennant, did that move right there and knock them out before going up? Not necessarily, but man, some people have had to have gotten close to getting stopped out right here. Hey, David, good morning. Yeah, what? Okay, I guess gold makes sense because was it announced today that the Fed is just going to start printing more money to buy treasuries so the bond rates don't spin out of control? That would probably make sense on why there's gold's having such a good day. They're just like, yeah, we're totally warming up the printing press even more. So I hope everybody here loves inflation. Yeah. QE again. Yep, that would make sense on why gold. What's Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin reacting at all to it or no? Oh, look at this. G-Cow. Let's go, brother. This is one of my favorite ETFs. GCOW. GCO. To me, the goal of it, or it just makes sense. That whole what they're targeting for this ETF, the type of companies in my mind makes sense, and they're the type of companies that I personally want at this phase of my. But anyways, BTC USD. Okay, that makes sense. Yep, that also makes sense on why Bitcoin's having a good solid day. When they being the government is just flat out saying, I own, yeah, BMEZ. That's a good one too. That's what the healthcare one, I think. Is that healthcare? BMEZ. Yeah. Health. Yeah. Oh, Duck Soul. Beautiful. Beautiful. Wait, is the markets open or overall? Oh, wow. Okay. What's BTX doing? Okay, that's not so good. I like BTX too. That's a way to get like good solid dividends while at the same time, take advantage of, the Nvidias of the world and Broadcoms and all that. I think what MJ's saying is, why not just do both? We'll tax them through inflation and tax them through normal taxes. Why not? Oh my. Uh-oh, translate. Hopefully that's not a oh my, I just cooked 10 accounts. Did you see mRNA today? I heard about it. Like a cancer vaccine or something? And it just went boom boom? Yeah, there's a boom boom. There we go. Wow. Did anybody have mRNA in their portfolios before today? If so, congrats. I can see some people having it just from the bag holder days of COVID. But yeah, bag holders got paid. Good morning, Ty. We'll see what happens, Ty. Just read your email. We'll see what happens. Spartacus, good morning, sir. My wife is out with the interior designer again. They're on their shopping trip today in Des Moines. Going to be kind of an all-day thing. So I just say that because I'm kind of sort of on kid duty. I mean, we have our older daughters watching, but our youngest, Jet, it's just listening to his sisters, not necessarily his strong suit. So I got to keep an eye on things. The ease at which he says no to his sisters is oddly very different than the rate at which he says no to me. It's weird. It's weird how that works. I got the 548 long. 548 long. This is finally kind of a weird chart. So these lows at 400 up to here, I mean, booyah, brothers and sisters and furries. That's 200 points right there. This distance is 400 points. Yesterday, that distance was what? 50 points? Think about it. Yesterday, the same distance on the chart. I don't know, in the chat, let me know how much you think that distance on the chart was worth yesterday. I'm going to go with 50 points. Today, 200. Let's go. Maloney, you did see that he apologized to you, right? Did you notice that? He apologized to you yesterday? Yeah, definitely good movement today. Okay, I could be mistaken, but Ty, I thought he did. I might be mistaken, to be fair, but I could have sworn I saw apology from Maloney too. But yes, Dean did. I saw Dean's. I thought I saw Ty's, but maybe I'm wrong. Hey kids, I'm streaming. Okay, thank you. Let's see. I think at this point, I probably famous last words. I'm convinced maybe the Bulls are here. So on the next, if this does pull back to around the orange line here, previous session close, I'll take a swing at a long. Yeah, I think he did. But Ty, if you're I saw you here. I think that is more than reasonable. As I said, at the end of the day, this is the internet. So if we're ruining people's days like truly, then yeah, that's nobody's intent. Pretty V-shaped on the 5-minute. Yeah, pretty close. We again, even a V-shape I think is different definitions. To me, V-shapes are like just green straight back up. So on the 5-minute, there is that little bit of a pullback, which I could see help maybe some shorts escape. But like the true V for me is like shorts can't escape. There's not any pullbacks. There's nothing worthwhile that can even allow a short to get out. All right, well, Ty, here's the thing. And this is my point. If somebody is like in their heart of hearts actually offended and they like leave the stream feeling kind of bad, I mean, to me, I don't think, and to be fair, he was not attacking the channel. He expressed an opinion. We were all joking around. Apparently, we took the joke too far. Fair enough. I love to joke around, but I am also the first person to apologize if a joke is taken too far. So no, he was not attacking the channel. He attacked the channel in response to the joke being taken too far by myself and Dean, who have apologized for taking the joke too far. So no, he actually was not attack. His attack was in response. Him showing up talking about liquidity sweeps and stuff like that was not an attack on the channel. Now, if he showed up out of nowhere and was like demanding things, okay, that's different. I understand your point. You see what I'm saying? Is if the joke is taken too far, which it was, and then you continue to pound the person where they've expressing the joke was taken too far, that's where the line has been crossed. And again, this comes from somebody that loves to joke, that loves to give people a hard time. I get it. It's kind of like my love language. But those things can be taken too far, which I've learned over life. Okay, somebody like me can push it too far, just apologize. Because I'm actually not trying to like actually ruin anybody's day. I'm not trying to actually take jokes too far. Thank you. Yes. I appreciate that. There you go. There is his apology. He is sorry for pushing it too far. The market ruins my day by taking my money. And yeah, cool. I'm also done with it. I have not banned Maloney because, quite frankly, he was here yesterday talking about, his thoughts on things. That's fine. That's fine. All right. Looking for a long here as we're getting this pullback to this overnight, or I'm sorry, this previous session close. If you blow an account with take profit, do you have to cancel in the settings? Yes. If you do not want the account to renew, because technically speaking, every account is a subscription. So yes, if you're done with that account, then you have to manually cancel it. Okay, I'm long. Kind of chased it back up, but I don't know. Nice little hammer candle here at the pullback point. Let's see if we can get this bounce. Come on. See if we can break the high of this hammer candle here. Hey, what's up, Rim? Patience. Patience. Good morning. Passed my TPT account in that morning flush. Congrats. That was quite the flush. It really did slow down from the morning. No, I don't think so. Look at the y-axis. This small little distance here is now 20 points. Yeah, you can buy as many as you want. You have that fully understood. You can have The most you can copy at a single time is 5. Correct. The most pro accounts you could have at once is 5. Yes. But per your point, you can also have, in theory, 50 accounts waiting for you. Thank you, Buzak, for using the code. Come on, just... do I add more here? I think it'll bounce back up. Oh, I'm trying it. All right, there we go. Added 5 more. See if we can get some sort of bounce back up now. I really do like it. Nice. It's been trending. We got the pullback. That nice candle. So let's see if we can just get a little bit of more consolidation here. But if it decides to dump here, well. Not yet, at least, Southpaw. But that's pretty much in Ty's hands right now. Come on. Hey, Indica. Yeah, Ty, I'll say it right now. Maloney is being reasonable. He is waiting. He is giving you a chance. So just apologize for pushing it too far. That's it. Jokes can be pushed too far with some people. That's part of life. You know what also is part of life? Acknowledging that jokes have been pushed too far and just manning up and saying, "Hey, man, sorry about that. I didn't mean for it to go that far. I'm sorry. It took that far." It's not that big of a deal. It's really not. Especially if, like I said, it truly did go too far. Come on, brother, bounce. Right. That's what I meant. I would agree. I think he can do better. I think he can make it more directed towards you, Maloney. I do agree with that. Okay, took off 5 there. Let's get risk off the table. Let's get my stop down there. And now let's just follow it up. I guess I'll go for another one right here just in case it gets rejected at the high. And then just in case there's a spike, I'll throw one up there too. But yeah. So I will let ultimately 3 work for me because I will take one off here, one off there. All right, see you later, Ty. So I didn't ban him, Maloney, but it sounds like he's gone, which is a shame. I don't know what's so hard about realizing a joke went too far. And you just apologize for it. I don't know why he thinks that's a sign of weakness. But it is what it is. Onwards and upwards. Thank you, Dean, by the way. That's why I like Dean. Dude is spicy. Dude is kind of unhinged at times, but he's more than willing to be like, oh, yeah, sorry about that. Including me when he first showed up. Basically called me a scammer right out the gate. I'm like, wait a second. Let's provide more context. He's like, oh, sorry, I missed that. My bad. Sorry about that. Dean, very, very rough around the edges, but the guy, he has no problem fessing up when he was wrong, which I appreciate. So in other words, there is any points to not claim. If you buy rewards with your points, does it use them to keep the points and build? Yeah, your rewards build over time. Yeah, no, Dean's I like Dean. He's definitely rough around the edges, but like he's also reasonable. If you can explain to him like logically how what he's saying is not there, he's like, okay, that's true. Sorry about that. Hey, morning, Eddie. Oh, we're gonna do this again, aren't we? Where you come down, stop me out of my position that's working for me, and then goes up. I'm sorry, did I it's based on. Okay, yeah, Z3. Yeah, he's explaining it there. Yeah, at the end of the day, laid back Larry, base hits. That's how you beat the trailing drawdown. Base hits, base hits. Don't. You can beat it going for home runs. Don't get me wrong, but it is definitely trickier that way. It's been tough this morning. Yeah. This is why I have my entry where your stop is. Who are you talking to? I currently do not. I do not have a trade on. Maybe you're delayed. OOXOOH6Y. By the time you hear this, I don't think you're live right now. I think you're lagging a few minutes behind. Uh, I think I try it again. If it comes down to this general area, we have the previous session closed, that orange line. We have the 21 EMA, the green line. We have the pink line, the 200 SMA. So if it comes down to that general area, I think I might take a swing at it. Good morning, Clay and Chat. I've been doing fairly well past months up until the past week or so. Well, Jared, I mean, I don't know. I don't. You used to hang out here all the time. Now we rarely see your pretty face. What's up with that? Maybe that's why. Maybe you just got to hang around here a little bit. Hey, Grant. I think the last couple of weeks blew a lot of people's confidence. I don't know if it necessarily blew their confidence. I think it just kind of, myself included, has kind of hypnotized us into this slower moving action where candles like this represent 20 points. Whereas today, this green candle represents what? Started here at 535, went up as high as 595. So, I mean, right here, 50-point candle. This green candle here, 50 points. You think about yesterday, that that candle there is what? Maybe 15 points, maybe 20 at most. You know what I mean? So I think that's so yeah. I mean, I say I know what you're saying in terms of confidence, but I don't know if it's just maybe a lack of confidence in the actual movement itself. I grow my account from 1K to 37K 3 weeks. Okay, so I mean that's like a very good argument for prop firms. Assuming that's true, that's actually a really good thing about prop firms because if you're taking payouts along the way, then you can't give back 37,000 in gains, right? Because you would have taken out those profits as you went. So that's one of the hidden benefits of the prop firms is as soon as you take a payout, it is out of harm's way. Whereas if you keep the money in your account and then you continue to grow the account, It is still in harm's way. As I don't even know what the H6Y is saying. He's given back his entire account in 3 days before. So that is, that is kind of one of those hidden benefits. Prop firms essentially will force you to get your profits out of harm's way. So it's like when somebody says, "Yeah, man, I've made 50,000." My first question is, "Well, is that 50,000 still in your account?" And if I'm like, "Yeah," I'm like, "Okay, well, I understand what you mean by you've made 50,000, but you still haven't made it because it's still in harm's way. Because you're one bad day, you're one bad trade, you're one bad tilt session away from potentially wiping out the vast majority, if not all of that 50,000. But with prop firms, what a payout is doing is it's also removing money from harm's way. So yeah, 0x. I wish you had a better name than just letters. I just want to call you Duck Boy, since your avatar is a duck. But yeah, Duck Boy. Maybe consider prop firms. It would help you out from doing what. Thank you for being disclosing that. That's a good example. But yeah, it'll help you out in that regard. Call him Donald. Yeah, maybe Donald. Hey, Brad. Call him Trump, Donald. Well, I mean, given his avatars of a duck, you can do better, Dean. That you have better jokes than that. Yeah. That one not that's a Kyle. Did you buy Kyle's course on telling jokes? Miss my TP on spy by 2 points. I haven't had my coffee yet. Okay, please. If this is what you bring to the table without any coffee, I'm going to need you to go chug a gallon of coffee ASAP. Coffeeless Dean has hit my stop loss. Dean with coffee, I think that's when the profit target starts to get hit. Make America quack again. My kids have been on the Mighty Duck fix again. So that's what makes me think quack, 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 quack. By the way, Coach Riley might be the best coach in all of history. Clay, he's a fictional character. Listen. My point stands. It's not worth winning if you can't win big. And then he literally has the crowd cheering, win, win, win. That's crazy. You get a whole crowd of adults and stuff like that to be cheering win, win, win about Pee Wee hockey. No, Coach Riley. Way better. Okay, I will try another long down here. Coach Norman Dale is the best hands. Who's that? What movie is that from? I got greedy and scalped up, and it hurts when I lost. I wish I took the profits. I will try prop from the issue. It feels. Yeah. In a weird way, like I guess a negative with a prop firm could be, well, yeah, even after I get my pro account, I still have to deal with kind of like rules. I would still argue the rules are good, but let's just assume for a case the rules are bad. So because these rules are bad, once you get payouts, you should probably take those payouts, right? Because the rules are bad, so take the payouts. But in a weird way, the bad rules become good because the bad rules are causing you to take payouts, which means they're causing you to take money out of harm's way. Which brings up the philosophical question. Are those actually bad rules? If the rules are causing you to take money out of harm's way, is that a bad or good rule? Think about it. For the record, I don't think the rules are bad. But just for argument's sake, let's just assume they are bad. But if the bad rules motivate you to take money out of harm's way, are they actually bad rules then? Think about it. After that movie didn't... which one? Which movie? Mighty Ducks? Probably. For the record, I did like Coach Riley's mentality, but then when he's like, go out and cheap shot Banks and take him out of the game, all right, at that point, it's like, that's just obviously that makes him, yeah, kind of a scumbag. I'll be right back. What happened? Hello? What is going on down there? What happened? Is he jumping around? Yeah, that's what happens. You jump around. So toughen up if you're gonna jump around. Don't jump around if you can't be tough. You understand? Everybody's okay. Yeah, it was a pain cry. I said, are you jumping around on the couch and stuff? Well, so my advice was simple. I said, you either need to toughen up or stop jumping around. Because if you're going to jump around, that is, a toughness requirement is part of that, right? It's quite simple. If you go and play American football and then you start crying all the time, it's like, okay, we have a couple of choices here. Either toughen up, which is a requirement to do this thing, or just don't do the thing. It's very straightforward, I'm going for a long down here. I'm going to try it for a long right there. Let's try for the long. Trying to buy the pullback. Is this a bear flag? You're going to need to give me a time frame here. I am not seeing any bear flags on the 2-minute width is what I'm looking at. I placed my long. I know, Cam. I've hacked your computer. I see what you're doing. I'm just copy trading Cam. Oh, you dirty rat. To be fair, it didn't even hit the orange line. Got very close. Okay. In hindsight, shoulda, coulda, woulda played the 21 EMA, but we'll see what happens. See if it wants to come back down there. Well, that was a nice scalpy scalp. Sorry, I've been MA. Took a break after I blew my last account. Opened a 30K account today. All right. Well, welcome back, Hyundai, and congrats on the good day. I didn't want to say it yesterday, but I think No Soup unblocked me. Well, that's good. That's good. You guys just had to duke it out, and sounds like the world is correcting itself. Prop firm accounts are like cows. When they're full of milk, you got to milk them. Ooh, I like that analogy. I can go with that. So if you cannot tell, I am on team. Take the payout. I don't build buffers. If I'm owed 67 cents, I'm taking 67 cents because I don't trust myself with tilt. And that is, like I said, that is a good feature of prop firms that I don't think gets enough kind of chatter. Is their ability to remove money from harm's way. Like, I understand if you start really small, well, I want to grow the account and keep the money in there so I get more leverage so I can buy more things. But with prop accounts, you already start with great leverage anyways. So, like, there's not really that reasoning there. I do understand the reasoning. Hey, I started this account with $500. I want to get it up to $10,000 so that I can have, better leverage, blah, blah, blah. Where it's like, well, I mean, I understand that. But, like, there is a better way where you don't have to worry about trying to build up your leverage because you already have a bunch of leverage. That's why I'm just saying the math. We're in the golden age. We are in the golden age of day trading. Day trading futures through a prop firm is so mathematically wise. I can't get over it. Yeah, translate. So there we go. Another example of you trying to keep stuff above and then you just give it back anyway. So it's just like, just take the money, take it out of harm's way. All right. I don't know if I. Hey, Sam, good morning. What are your thoughts on building buffer? I mean, that's a little different, but I mean, you still have good leverage anyways. I'm back after that short scalp to +9 the other day. You're back what? Like you're back to the live stream? You're back to having another good day? You're back to another red day? I mean, what are you back to? You're back to good habits? By the way, I think most people. Oh, that reminds me. I did want to point this out because I did have this question on Monday. So I actually don't feel too stupid now. Let me just bring that over real quick. Okay, so I got this email this morning, which again was my question. I was pretty sure, but I wasn't sure. So, will the 3-day pass be permanent, or does it only last 1 week along with the 50% off? So that was my question. I think the 3-day pass is a new thing, or I guess in theory, is it part of this current flash sale? Is the 3-day pass only the promo, or is it here to stay? These questions came in if you went blah blah blah. Yes, right here. The new 3-day evals are here to stay. So that part is staying. So that's not going to disappear when the flash sale goes away. The thing that will go away is this right here, the 50% off. I guess in theory, the no activation fee could go away, but I've never seen it ever go away. So I don't think this will go away. I think that'll still be here to stay. But that is what will go away. So if you are interested, that is the part that essentially you should be focused on. Is the 50% off is the flash deal part, but that is still a nice thing there. Instead of 5 days now, it is 3 days. So there you go. I meant to talk about that earlier, but that just kind of triggered it. So yeah, and if you want to get that deal, code Clay, all caps, 50% off, no activation fee. And yeah, the new newest thing is the 3-day rule instead of 5. I just need to find. Just need to, go collect some pop cans. I see a red day and I want it painted black. Isn't that a Rolling Stones lyric, or am I dented? Thank you, Double A. I appreciate it, man. I'll let my kids know that they're eating a nice. The reason why they're not eating Pebbles is because of Double A. Okay, they're gonna throw that in the choice. Yeah, yeah. I don't. For me, it's give and take because I really think Take Private Trader. One of their big benefits is they're so straightforward. It's like newbie. Here are your accounts. Here's how it works, and that's it. But as soon as you start saying, "Well, select this versus this," or do you want to consider this versus that? Again, give and take. Give and take. I'm not saying that it's bad, but I think that is one of Take Private Trader's features is they are just so straightforward. Here are your 5 accounts. There's the rules. That's it. Thank you. Lunch, I appreciate that. I don't want the diddle in the middle. Roger that. I like the way it is now on TPT. Yeah, I do. I'm glad that they'll give a choice because for some people, the trailing drawdown, it's like, who cares? Um, I'll pay less. So what'll work is if you want end of day drawdown, it sounds like they'll just charge you more. And it's, for some people, that'll be worth it. Other people, they're like, yeah, no, I can pass the accounts just fine, so I'm not going to pay more. But yeah, we are witnessing capitalism at its finest. Prop firms are showing up, they're changing things, they're competing, they're trying to get other people's customers, which is what drives pricing and features and all that sort of stuff. I mean, we are living through a grade A example of the power of capitalism right here. As consumers, I don't think anybody is complaining that Take Profit Trader are doing these things, and other prop firms are popping up doing certain things. Dude, Dean, go drink your coffee. Oh, if that's all they're adding, it is a 5K a day cap. Pfft. Yeah, I'm with you. What? They're only gonna let me make 5,000 a day? What are you even talking about? So if you have 5 accounts and then you copy trade them and you make 5,000 a day, okay, what am I doing with my math? If you have 5 accounts and then you make 5,000 a day and then you get to keep 80% of that, what am I doing with my life right now? 5 accounts times $5,000 times 0.8. There you go. You get to keep $20,000 every day. Times 5 per week is $100,000 per week. Times, what is there, 52 weeks? But you're not going to trade all week, so let's times that by 48 weeks in a year. Boo-hoo. They're only going to let me make $4.8 million per year? Scumbags. Okay, well, I hope to one day be a baller like you. If you're going to complain and try to illustrate $4.8 million per year is a bad thing, you are just the baller. You're just a baller. I would very much, yeah, I mean, that'd be a kind of a cool problem to have. I am with you. I would like to have the problem like, wait, I can only make $100,000 a week? What's up with this? And let's face it, let's just say somebody does have that complaint. Well, they are clearly a baller. Just go do other prop firms, get more accounts with them, get a third party, software, and then just copy trade 20 accounts at once. All right. Potentially long here as we're sitting once again at this orange line that has held strong. Okay. Filled there. See if we can get this thing to bounce once again. We're on the 5 minute, we're right at the 21. So added some there. And we're also right here at the 200. So let's see if we can get a bounce up off that area. Come on, 21 EMA in the 5 minute. I got one. There we go. Little scalpy scalp there. Kind of weird. That was a little bit more difficult than what I would like to have gotten filled on that. Maybe Brad B. We're speculating a little bit, but I mean Brad B. Let's just say that you could only make 5,000 per day. Is that a deal breaker for you, Brad B? What is the best third party? I don't know. Translate. No, sir. Okay, good. Oh, okay. Serious question. Oh wait, are you on the level 2 class? That one it's important to an extent, but uh you could probably skip over that one. Like, do you already understand how level 2 works in general? JB8, do you understand like level 2 how just generally speaking what it's trying to do and what it's showing you? Okay. Yeah, then just skip over it. Yeah, that one, very, very important for back in the day when it came out with penny stocks and stuff like that. Still important just from overall understanding what's going on level 2s. But yeah, not as important as it was. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think JB8, I think you'd be just fine to move on from that one. No, not really. Because there are good ways to know when there's hidden In fact, hidden orders can be hidden at first, but then they can be very apparent that they're not hidden, right? In the penny stock world, if a market maker is showing like a 1 and then you see the tape and that price is getting destroyed and yet it just stays right there, it's like, okay, clearly the company is or insiders are diluting shares. They're hiding their dilution, but like very clearly it's happening because it should not just stay at 1. So yeah, in a sense they're hidden, but once you know what to look for, it's not hidden. Nice, JB8. Did you do skill sharpening class? Did you print out the guides and everything? Oh yeah, mRNA. We were looking at that earlier today. Crazy. Sure did and took a, that's all right, man. That is always that's kind of the class where you it's a really good gauge of how serious is this person taking it. I have a good friend that I met through the community. Nate Wilson is his name. And the first time I went out to hang out, he's got a really cool job, but he took me to the office and right on his desk was all the guides, all sorts of notes. And he's okay. Let me be clear. I'm not saying that if you print them out and take a lot of notes, you're guaranteed to become a good trader. I'm not saying that per se. I'm just saying I think that's a good indicator. Okay, I can't talk anymore. We're at the 200 SMA and VWAP on the 5-minute, so I got to get long right here. Little scalpy scalp there. He's doing well. I need to drop him a text, but yeah, he's doing well as far as I'm aware. Once we get the homestead done, we're gonna have to get him out to Iowa. So on the 5-minute here, to me that was something that just had to be taken as a trade. We have not only the VWAP right there, also the pink line there. Both, I mean, it's a smooch, right? They're smooching. They're right there. Did that guarantee a bounce? No, it doesn't guarantee a bounce, but did I think I have an edge that had an edge? Yeah, I thought I did. And to be fair, I did have an edge. It did bounce. Oh yeah, I don't know. Next time Captain Crunch shows up, we're gonna have to ask him about that. Awesome, Jay. Good job. Good job, Jordan. That's good stuff there, brother. That is a sign of somebody that is serious about learning, for sure. That is not half-assing it. I'll say that. Half-butting it. Sorry. Hey, what's up, JP? Same old. Just up another $20,000 today, huh? Same old, same old. Clay, just another 20 G's, brother. Get boring, brother. Yeah, okay. I know it's way more than 20 G's. I was just trying to, not. I don't want all your relatives to start hitting you up. No, I can tell. That joke was way. That was actually good, Dean. So I can tell the coffee's already working. Okay, well, Dean, like I said, I'm sorry, JP, I realized that. I was just trying to not have friends and family start to hit you up for cash, brother. That is a good question. What am I going to have in the background? Actually, behind me will be the garage. However, or I should say, is the garage, but there's walls. So you're not going to actually see into the garage. But yes, part of my office is built because we wanted to get it out of the way of the main kind of area of all the kids and blah, blah, blah. So we want to stick it off at kind of one of the corners. So actually, the garage will be behind me. The problem is there will be some drywall separating it. But yeah, I don't know. That's what I got to figure out. What do I want? I don't know. Do I put the YouTube plaque up there for the 100,000 subscribers? I don't know. I don't know. It's a good question. I have not thought that far ahead. I'll probably, I don't know. Maybe I'll get a shelf. I can put the plaque there. I have some like authentic Ohio State helmets. Maybe I can put those back there. Have some ring girls walk by every. Yeah. My wife will be totally fine with that. Who are these women that knock down the door that say they're here to be ring girls for a live stream? Yeah, ring men. Yeah, let's do ring men. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, Mars, that'd be pretty good. I could, I guess, put a 1,000,000 subscriber plaque. Don't have that one. Only have the 100,000 plaque. Which is always that is one of those perfect examples that I've learned over the years, where it just illustrates how. And I'm not saying this will be news to anybody, but there is always that. Okay, well maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not that way, but like it definitely is that way. And I've lived through it personally because I've always left. I've got the YouTube plaque, and then people are like, "You bought your subscribers, you bought your views, blah 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 blah," and it's just like, well, no, I mean because clearly you've never gotten a plaque before. Because if you'd gotten a plaque, you know full well that before they ever send you a plaque, they'd run an audit on your channel to make sure that the subscribers are actually real subscribers. But the mere fact you're telling me that I buy subscribers, blah, 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 and it's all fake, blah, 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 while I have a plaque in the background, just tells me that yappers exist. Believe it or not, people exist in real life that just yap without actually knowing what they're talking about. I know, shocking to hear, but it's true. No, it's 500,000. It goes from 100 to a million to I don't know what happens after a million. 10 million? Yeah, we checked out Bitcoin earlier. Same with gold, still grinding up. No, I don't know how I feel about wearing other men's jerseys. I'm not saying anybody that does it is wrong. I'm just saying I don't know quite how I feel about that. Like if a kid does it, cool. But I don't know. Maybe that can be the rap. Maybe that's the one I could. Maybe that's the group I can irritate today and scare away from the stream. Those that wear other people's jerseys as adults. Again, I'm not even saying that's wrong or bad or weird. I'm just saying it could be weird. But I have not thought through it thoroughly. So maybe it's not. Maybe it's not weird. That's true. Keeping the West wild, yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, JB, that's like, like I said, I don't even know. I don't have any well developed thoughts. I'm just saying in my mind, there's like kind of like a blinking light that says, think through this a little bit more. What about a WNBA jersey? I mean, I have a lot of those. I mean, especially when you're in Iowa, right? And Caitlin Clark's from Iowa. Why market rippy mode? I don't know. Why do you think the market's in rippy mode? Your guess is as good as ours. Just wear a woman's. Okay, I guess it's more so like an adult. That's fair. I keep saying another man's jersey. Okay. Another adult's jersey. But I don't know, like, I'm wearing a shirt of another guy's company. So does that make me, is that weird? I don't think so. Bitcoin ripping, so lots of crypto going up and market reacts. Well, I don't think the market is reacting to crypto. My guess would be the market is reacting to the Fed just, or whoever you want to call it, the Fed, the government just saying, yeah, we're here to print more money. We're here to print more money so that bond rates don't spin out of control. So I think that's what everything is actually reacting to. Are you waiting on your exit? No, Leroy, I'm not in a trade. If I was in a trade, one of these numbers down here would be moving around. So no, I'm not waiting on an exit because I'm not in a trade. I am thinking about entering a trade though up here. Right there. Maybe right here. Maybe right here instead. Right there. Which I mean, yeah, you can. You can print more money for yourself. Now, I mean, that sounds like a good way to end up in jail, but I mean, you can. Do you watch NFL, Clay? No. I'm more of a college football guy. It's a little easier to cheer for my college team than it is my pro team. Cleveland Browns. Yeah, you should probably not print your own money. Can you? Yes. All right, I'm trying to long right there. Right there. So you cheer for other men but won't wear their jerseys. I don't know if I cheer for them or cheer for the team. I mean, is that kind of weird though too? You cheer for a dude in something that actually doesn't mean anything at all. I mean, here, sports are maybe weird, and I watch sports. Sports are maybe weird. People get all bent out of shape, myself included. In fact, I have an issue with it. That's why I've had to back off. But like, that's kind of weird. That's kind of pathetic on my end. For something that ultimately makes no difference. Makes no difference at all. Now, like, if we're being invaded and I'm cheering for USA, okay, that's something where, I mean, that kind of makes sense. But like a sports event, really? So I don't know. Are sports weird is the question. Again, as somebody that does watch sports. Oh, I don't know, Leroy. I do not run calculations and stuff like that. So here we go. Now I guess now I'm going to just turn off and scare off and make mad and send away all the people that will like sports now. See, why I gotta just shut my mouth. Last week it was housing. Yesterday it was food, dieting. Now it's sports. That's great. You should. Yeah, I mean, I do kind of, but not in the sense you do, because I have many streams of income. So like, I don't nail it down that close, just because I don't really care, because I don't need to care. I mean, I need to care broadly, but like, yeah, it's kind of one of those, as long as I'm able to put money aside every month to pay the bills, to invest, to support my family, etc., 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 then I'm kind of good with that. Well, I understand that as far as trading, but like, I don't. Again, I have broad ideas, but some of you, and I'm not saying anybody's wrong, like you have the stats boiled down so impressively. Did you used to cheer for specific players? I will say this. The weirdest part of my life was at age 18 when I went to Ohio State. And then I was like, okay, so I'm supposed to cheer for Ohio State. But like these dudes are my same age. Like, what just happened? I used to be the guy out in the field. Now I'm in the stands cheering for the people on the field. It was a weird dynamic. It does help when you get older, and then there's that detachment again. We're like, well, I wouldn't be able to play out on the field anyways. But that was super weird. That was a weird phase to go from a player to the dude in the stands because you just weren't good enough. Breakout, Leroy, you got to be a little bit more specific, brother. What time frame are you watching? What is this company, Clay? This is the futures market. I don't trade stocks. Day trading stocks is garbage. I'm trading futures, specifically MNQ futures contracts. Did this guy say that day trading stocks is garbage? I did, and it's very easy to prove through math. Do your kids do any sports? Casually, yeah. But as somebody that grew up playing travel baseball and doing every sport under the sun, including hockey for a year after Mighty Ducks came out, I was like, I want to be a goalie. Thankfully, the league would let goalies. You could just use the equipment provided because goalie equipment's really expensive. So yeah, no, I've done everything at very competitive levels, and my kids aren't going to do any of that. It's just, I don't know what my parents were thinking. Like, bless their hearts for playing. I don't even remember what it was, 60 to 80 games as I don't know, what was that, 7th and 8th grade? Because freshman year you get into high school baseball, but like middle school, 60 to 80 games, travel team. What were my goodness? I mean, eventually it burnt me out. I quit baseball my senior year. I was like, nah, I'm done. I don't feel like doing this anymore. But then the coaches were like, hey, come on. Plus, this is the truth, and probably not the best motivation. But senior year, we went down to play in a tournament in Florida. I was like, dude, that sounds kind of good. A free trip to Florida. So that had a massive motivation in me sticking it out senior year. But yeah, I got burned out. So anyways, that's just my long way of saying, yeah, my kids kind of sort of do sports, but I am not. There will be no travel sports. There will be nothing. There will be no taking any sports way more seriously than what they should. My 8th grader plays about 60 games. Yeah, bless your heart. Bless your heart. Yeah, mRNA went boom, boom. Travel baseball was one of the best times of my life. Yeah, I mean, and that's, I mean, I enjoyed, but I still don't know what my parents were thinking. Well, then again, maybe it was a little different because my parents, I was one of two. But when you have 6 kids like I do, it's like, yeah. I quit baseball in 8th grade after I kept getting hit with a ball at bat. Well, then you got to change your face. You must have had a very beanable face. Oh, this kid needs beaned. Why is day trading stocks not recommended? Because you need way more capital to do it. So your risk is more. You need way bigger moves to make worthwhile money. And even that worthwhile money you make, you could have made more day trading futures in a prop firm for less risk with less movement. We did the math, I think, last week. Like, you look at the stock and it's like, okay, how much to buy 100 shares? And then you look at how much effort is needed for that thing to move a dollar, which would equate $100. And it's like, goodness, you need a lot of capital to make $100. And a dollar move for most stocks is a pretty big move. But even if it's not a big move, well, that just implies you need quite a bit of money to buy 100 shares of that thing. Clay, were you a high school? I mean, I went to a school with all dudes, so like there was no bullies. Like when you're around a bunch of guys, it's like, what do you like? No. Good day, recovered 5K. Wow, good job. Yeah, you're so here's what I mean by like the prop firm, really quickly. You could go and if you have 85, is this fixed? Oh, good, it is fixed. They got to fit. No, it's not fixed. Let me refresh. I pointed this out to them and Nope. Oh, it is fixed. Very good. They finally got rid of it. Good job. All right. So for $85, you could get 50,000 in purchasing power. What does the 50,000 in purchasing power get you? It gives you the ability for six NQ contracts or 60 MNQ contracts. And basically, 6 of these type of contracts is craziness. It'll be the fastest thing you've ever seen move P&L wise compared to stocks you've ever seen. Well, Clay, I trade small caps and low floats. I don't care. 6 NQ contracts is still going to be moving faster than you trade in small caps or low floats. And you are subject to news when it comes to stocks. Well, I mean, you're still subject to news when it comes to futures. But I think what you mean, Indica, is the wipeout in futures is, futures with a prop account is just your prop account. Whereas in stocks, it could be thousands of dollars. You can. Right. That's why legendary. I make my claim very specific. Day trading, which puts me in the again, legendary. I know categorical thinking is not your strong suit, but I try my best to choose my words wisely. In the category of day trading stocks is stupid. Investing in stocks is fine. What's the difference? I put stocks in 2 different categories. Day trading options, stupid. Using options within investing, I can see that. Cash secured puts, covered calls, the wheel strategy. Well, I mean, I appreciate you saying that, but hopefully they hear me saying day trading, day trading, day trading. I've blown accounts with a few MNQ. Yeah, exactly, Sonny. That's the thing. It's like 6NQ or 6ES, 6 of those type of contracts that you can get for $85 will make your head spin. So basically, bounds and contracts. I don't know what you mean by bounds, but yes, futures are contracts. But the nice thing about these contracts and futures is they don't have theta. Unlike option contracts that have theta, there is no theta in futures, which is why day trading futures is better than day trading options. I mean, they move better than options anyways, but options, you got to worry about that pesky theta. All right, so you're not going to come down here? I'm going to cancel it. I already forgot about that order. I better officially get it out of there. Yeah, stock futures became available 3 weeks ago and just bombed. I guess to be fair, maybe they've improved, but I've heard nothing about them, so I'm including they're still a waste, a graveyard of liquidity. As in, there's barely any liquidity. Oh, mic drop. How about them apples? Dang. Now you got to show Big Tick Energy respect, Dean. He is an OG. He has been here, possibly since the first live stream. He's an OG. If he farts, you better take the blame. Okay, Dean? That's how that works. If Big Tick Energy farts, Dean, you raise your hand and say, that was me. That was me. Okay? That's how that works. He's an OG. Finish for the day. Nice job, Kevin. Ooh, is this a short? Maybe a short. We were right at this area of resistance. Okay, come up a little bit more and then, okay, there we go. Okay, if it wants to come back down, I'll try the short. My stop will be right here. See if this is a fake breakout. If the red line turns blue, I'm in. And that's when I'll lock in my stop. Is this a fake breakout? If it's not, well, I'm about to have a losing trade. If it is, well, then hopefully I'll have a nice little trade here. Are you going to film me or not, brother? Told you a breakout coming. I don't have the willpower to go into dad mode for Leroy. If somebody else wants to help him out with some good life advice, be my guest. But I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me. All right, we'll cancel that order out. Please don't. No, no. I don't have the willpower. You just continue to go on your merry way. Because yes, Leroy, I'm sure in your life, and I'm sure you included, you love a "I told you so" person. You love those people, Leroy. In your life, when people come up to you and say, "I told you so," I know, Leroy, you're like, brother, I love it. Because yeah, that's how everybody feels about "I told you so" people. Who doesn't love an "I told you so" person? Who doesn't like those type of people in real life? They're the best type. In fact, when I meet somebody new, I'm like, are you the type of person that's going to show up and say, "I told you so"? And if they're like, "Yup," I'm like, did we just become best friends? If I meet you in real life, I'm like, are you going to be the type of person that comes up and says, "I told you so"? And they're like, no, I don't do that. I'm going to be like, loser, I'm out. Leave me alone. That is not a Dumb and Dumber reference. You baboon. That is a Step Brothers reference. Again, 80% of my quotes come from Dumb and Dumber. 80%. Okay, I think Leroy's just trolling around. I think that was his clue. That was his breadcrumb of "I'm a troll." Hey, Jacob. Not really. Because quite frankly, that doesn't do anything. Like, here. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. So I want to go. No, that's not it. Let's do this. But maybe this will give. Okay. So, like, here's something I did from 2015. Showed that I made 5,800. The point was like, man, one bad trade can really screw up a month. And there's my bad trade. 3,000 gone in one day, messing up a trade. But I can show people this. And they're like, so for example, I've had people tell me, dude, your day trading results I see, that's actually that's demo trading. That's not even real. And I'm like, okay, well, here's how you can tell that it's real. Okay, it's real. Well, yeah, but you don't actually make any money. You're hiding. You're only showing the good days. I'm like, well, here are some videos of me losing. Okay, well, yeah, but you don't make any money. Okay, well, here's a week of my gains and I made some money. Oh, well, that's only 1 week. I'm like, okay, well, here's a month. Here's a month. Well, that's only 1 month. Okay, here's a year. Dude, that's only 1 year. Okay, here's a decade. Okay, Photoshop. I want those audited. Okay, here's the audited. You paid off the auditor. So what I've learned is some people, they're just not going to believe regardless. But I mean, yeah. But here's a month from back in 2015. Again, the only reason, well, you just picked this month because you made money. Fair, but no, actually the reason why I even talked about this month was because there was a learning lesson. What was the learning lesson? Right here, the blog, how I ruined my month. And I don't remember exactly what happened here, but like I wanted to share this with people to show you how, man, one bad day can sure screw things up. And I do the same thing here. I've never changed. Like when I do stupid stuff, that's when around here, we call it the 11 a.m. talk. Sometimes we need to do 11 a.m. talks where I'm like, yeah, I just cooked, blah, blah, blah. So like if there's things to learn about, sure, I can share some things, but there's no point in trying to prove anything really to anybody because the people that don't want to believe are never going to believe anyways. It will eventually boil down to you paid off the auditor. But thank you for the super chat. Hi, Clay. I'm new here. Can I quickly? No, I cannot quickly go through. There's nothing quick about learning to trade. So no, I can't quickly go through my strategy. I mean, I can, but it's not going to mean anything to you. So my strategy, I call the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. I like some candlesticks. I like some moving averages. VWAP is nice. Use some trend lines. And that's basically it. So that is me quickly going through my strategy. But yes, at the end of the day, you're going to need to build your own strategy. We all have unique strategies. I understand a lot of people make it seem like you just go and like you buy a strategy off a shelf and you just like follow step by step by step by step. But that's not how trading actually works. At the end of the day, you're going to have to blood, sweat, and tears figure out the strategy that best fits your personal risk tolerance. And we're all going to have, every single person here has a different strategy. Sure, we have general frameworks that are the same, but when you get down into the fine-tuned details of it all, we're all gonna look and do things slightly differently based on us. So hopefully that makes sense. But welcome to the stream. Good to have you. Yes, yes, it did. The course did actually rip you off. If you bought the course thinking that you're gonna learn some cookie cutter strategy that it works for everybody, and I know you didn't do this by the way, but yes, then you would have gotten ripped off. But yes, that's why selling my mentorship is hard. Because I tell people if you buy my mentorship, you still have a ton of hard work to do. And they're like, wait, what? Then what am I paying for? I'm like, you know what? I'm just being honest about it. But if you think you can just go buy somebody's system and then you're just going to make money, I do have some oceanfront property in Wyoming. I would love to sell you. I would love to sell you. Yeah, but even that, Nas, I hear your point. But then somebody will be like, well, Kevin Marsh, that was just AI. He's not actually standing over your shoulder. That's AI. So there's no monthly subscription fee once. Correct. Layback, Larry. Yeah, that is a great thing. Once, and here's the thing also, Larry, about the racehorse model is once you pass an account, you do not have to activate it to a pro. You can just let it sit there. So if you want to pass more accounts, just let it sit there. You don't even have to activate it. I know a lot of prop firms, you have to activate the account within a certain amount of time. That does not happen at Take Profit Trader. So that's what makes the racehorse model really shine is that you're under no obligation to have to get a pro account started right away. That's true. And Rick makes a good point too. I think a lot of people um, they which is understandable. But like when you're new and somebody has a bunch of green and you're like scammer, all they do is win. It's like, well, wait a second. There can be losses within the green, right? You could take 10 trades, lose on 4 of them, but still be green. So sure, you take losing trades. Yeah, you lose money, but because of risk management, you're able to still have those losses and still have green. But when you're new, most people, myself included when I was new, a loss meant like account destruction, dead bodies everywhere, just pure mayhem. That's what a losing trade actually meant. But that is why, till a blue in the face, risk management, risk management. Because yeah, you can have losing trades along the way, but that's why risk management is important because you can lose, but still overall come out green when all the dust is settled. Okay. I might lose my mind with mRNA. Yes, yes, I've seen it. Clay, okay, Leroy. I'm still not sure if you're a troll or not, but either way, that don't mention other people here, okay? Not because I think other people are losers or scumbags or scammers. I just don't know most other people. And I would hate for my live stream to serve as a channel to funnel somebody to somebody that is a clown. Again, I'm not saying everybody else is clowns. I'm just saying I don't know the vast majority of other people. So I just want to err on the side of caution. Please don't mention other people. Losing volume on the push up. Yeah, not the most awe-inspiring breakout here volume wise. But if it pulls back, I can see myself maybe taking a swing at it long right here. Yeah. Yeah, you're hustling for sure, Jordan. No, yeah, thank you. Again, I understand you didn't mean anything by it. You were not aware of that rule, but yes, that is a rule. Yeah, no, there is nothing get rich quick about this. Well, let me put it this way: it is possible to get rich quick. I admit it. People that traded AMC, GME, all that, they got rich quick. But that's not the right question. The question is, can you stay rich? And the market is an expert at making people rich and then very quickly making them unrich. That is the market's true superpower. The ability to unrich people. But if you're around long enough, we'll go through another cycle where a bunch of people get rich quick, and you kind of just got to sit back. And there's really nothing you can say to them because they'll just call you a hater or jealous. But you try to warn them. Yeah, I realize you just got rich, but like what you're doing is not sustainable. And then, oh, did you make money? Well, no. Well, then shut your mouth, hater. It's like, okay. And then you don't hear from those people anymore. Almost like the market gets their money back. This is all here. I'll send you this. Oh, right here. This will show you how I set up my platform. So to answer you, that is just Tradeovate. But Chud, if you want a little bit more details on how to set everything up, you can check out that video right there, good sir. You saved up working 20 years and lost it in 4 years trading. Yeah, exactly. Without risk management, the market is very good at unriching people. Okay, here we go. I don't even know what that. Okay, that must be from yesterday. Let me just get rid of that one. I've had 654 shorts set for over an hour. I don't know. There's something. This volume is that's pretty sketchy volume down here on this pullback. I should probably have my phone on or my. There we go. I was mentioning this earlier, but my wife. All right, let me take a step back. For anybody new, we are currently building a house out on the homestead we're building. So my wife today is out with the interior designer shopping. So the nice thing about interior designers, part of their services that they offer is, hey, I'll even go shopping with you. And I was like, you know what? That's a good decision. So my wife is out, and it's going to be a multi-hour day. So I'm like, you know what? I better be ready just in case I get the text of, hey, Sugar Plum, is it okay? Can I go out of budget here? And what's the line item looking like on Tile? So far, no text. But oh boy, today is one where if you see me just all of a sudden go to like 30 NQ, there will be signs. If the interior designer and my wife, if they start to collude and start to blow line items out of the water, there will be signs. Just keep an eye on position size. I'm long from 29.544. All right. Glad you're using stop losses at 5. Wait. I'm long from 5. Really? Baru, so you would let this trade still turn into a loser? Even though you're this green, you would still allow this trade to turn into a loss? Am I understanding that right? Or is there a typo somewhere? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that just would be a good example of how we all trade differently. But yeah, to me, again, I'm not the be all end all, but to me that would be wild to let a trade where I'm up so much actually go green by 24 points. Again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying good example of how we all see the market. We all approach the market differently. Personally, I think the market is going. Oh, I fully agree. Market's going to 40K. Notice how myself nor Maddie actually gave any time frames. So maybe 20 years from now when I show up to say I told you so. But hey, yeah, I agree. We're going to 40K. Is it a rule violation to put pending at the top and bottom of the range? No. I don't know. I don't pretty sure no. I'm waiting for somebody to be like, he lied. He said we were going to 40K today. I never said today. I gave 0 time. That's what made it a very slimy statement. I gave no time frame. I just said, yeah, I agree we're going to 40K. Heck, I believe we're going to 100K. Hey, what's up, Sky Mountain? Oh, I see. Okay, you're trading. Okay. So does that mean you're in the profit then, Baru? If you get stopped out, you'll still be in the profit? Is this thing going to 29,700? I mean, that seems reasonable at this point, Leroy. I'm not gonna say, hey, I could see the price. I think the price has a good chance of getting up to 29,700. I would not call that crazy. Now 30,700. I mean, that's a little bit more ambitious. Morning, Clay. I'm getting back on. All right, hey rookie, good to see you. Agreed. I think that is possible, Leroy. Took off yesterday, needed a break. Yeah. Milk does a body good. So do breaks. Breaks can do a body. See, and here's the English language in context. Well, yeah, Clay, car brakes do a body good. They prevent crashes. Okay, that's not quite the type of brake I was talking about, but that's still valid. How does anybody learn the English language? Like, if you didn't grow up with English speaking parents, how does anybody learn the English language? It's so confusing. So, any of you here where English, maybe it's not your first language, but like you can at least talk enough to communicate. Respect. All kidding aside, massive respect. English is just a clown fest of a language. English is your third language. Respect. Yeah, where? Yeah, it's just. Okay, what is the one I've heard? I don't think it's. Okay, I think this is it. Well, hopefully we can fix the water well. Well, what are those 3 wells? Oh, wait, no, or is it this? Well, hopefully we can fix the well water so the well begins to work well again. Yeah, that's it. Something of that nature. Well, hopefully we can fix the well so the well water works, or so the, hopefully, you heard it. The one time I said it. Well, hopefully, sorry. This is what happens when you're trying to say complicated English sentences while looking at the chart. In Spanish, to say how do I eat, you say como. Really? How do you eat? Oh. I mean, I know como is how. Como estás? How are you? ¿Dónde estás? Where are you from? ¿Dónde estás, mi amigo? Ah, muy bien. 30K is possible. Not today. Why isn't it possible today? Yeah, no. No, I think 30K is possible today. Keyword there being possible. That does not seem anything that would be unreasonable. But yeah, I think 30K is certainly possible today. Now, 300K, yeah. Well, again, to be fair, anything is possible. But yeah, highly, 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 highly unlikely we get 300K today. Possible, sure. Highly unlikely. Why did you start trading futures? Well, I'm going to add on to that. I'm going to add on to your questions. Why did I start trading futures through a prop firm? Because it just makes so much mathematical sense from all angles. Risk management, growth potential, psychology wise, from all angles. Futures through a prop firm by far makes the most sense, and which is why I say we're in the golden age of day trading right now. The invention of micro futures and then prop firms were truly game changing. I've said it before, but before micros, so I guess what, like 7 years ago, could you imagine a new trader shows up and you're like, all right, I want you to go trade NQ futures. It's like, okay, nice death sentence you just sent them to. But now with the micro futures, a brilliant discovery, or not a discovery, invention. Is an invention a discovery? Kind of. Maybe they work interchangeably. Okay, what's your take on nanos coming next week? I see no purpose in them. Now, if NQ gets up to 50,000, 100,000, and every candle is fluctuating easily 40 to 50 points, nanos make sense. No. Oh, he did bot attack us? Maloney still bot attacked us? No, we don't have 3,000 watching. It's a bot attack. I did not know Mahoney bot attacked us. I thought we were good. Invention is different than discovery. Electricity was discovered, not invented, for example. That makes sense. That makes sense. So, because electricity was discovered, the light bulb was invented. I think that all makes sense. Well, thank you, Jackie. Very kind of you. But yes, and I come from the day trading stocks and day trading options. I get on the surface why day trading small caps and low floats, because they can explode. While that seems to make sense, totally get it. I'm just at this point in time, mathematically, those things no longer make sense. How is his body? Yeah, I don't know how that works. Yeah, to me it blows my mind that YouTube cannot distinguish that sort of thing. Yeah, I am with you on that. I have no idea. Even with the comments, right? Like I'll post a video and then I'll get like 50 comments talking about some like weird crypto or something. And it's like, how does Google, who literally makes billions and billions and billions of dollars, how do they not like be able to figure out like something in place? Like, okay, there's something going on within the coding where this is clearly not, I don't know. I am with you in that confusion. Google probably likes bots. Potentially, yeah. Maybe that way they can skew their viewership a little bit more for advertisers. I mean, yeah, okay. Maybe that I can see that, rookie. That could make sense. Yeah, okay, Philly. Yep. They like bots. It gives them better numbers for it. Yeah. Yeah. I suppose that does make sense. Hey, good job, Big Tick Energy. Good job, Nathan. You dirtbag. Google probably has their own bots. I don't know. Like at that point, that's kind of, is that fraud? I don't know if it is, but like if Google is creating their own bots so that they can sell stuff about because of all these users when the users aren't real, like at what, that almost seems like a legal thing. Bot traffic for AI on the web now exceeds human traffic. Oh, yeah, I can see that. That it's like the healthcare industry making junk food. I think maybe I'd have to think more on that one. Most of the internet is just bots. There's actually very few humans left. You think? I think there's still a lot of humans. Are the humans the majority? Well, I guess it depends on how do you define a lot. If a lot is the majority, then yeah, maybe there aren't a lot anymore because bots are now the majority. But I don't know. I guess that's a we got to clear up our definition on what is a lot. I would buy a contract on the sell at 700 and put your stop at 600. Yeah. Okay. Dead internet theory? I don't think I've heard of that one. Oh, there's a middle finger trade right there, but would not have failed me anyways. Do I still try the middle finger? What is that? What is that? Leave me alone. Leave me alone. What is that? 97, 97. Okay, we're right there. We were right there. Doggone it. Ah, what I was looking at off screen right there. Purple line 50 SMA with the middle finger right there. Doggone, it was not quite quick enough. I blame the dead internet theory. Is this thing about to revisit? Like ultimately, if this is actually the range, was this just one false breakout of the range, and are we now headed to the bottom? VWAP. What is your opinion on the overall trend? You have to define overall trend. Overall trend on what? The daily time frame, the 5 minute, the 2 minute, the 15 second. Come on, brothers. Context matters. Specify your terms, please. There's literally an unlimited amount of time frames people could be looking at. It is mathematically unlimited. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's still an uptrend, but this movement here is getting a little bit shaky. But yeah, I'm still looking for longs. It's just more a question of where am I looking for longs. So yeah, I suppose that reveals that I'm still overall bullish. But I want to be quick because the 1 hour. All right. Okay. Nas, that's just, I mean, you're just trying to start trouble with that. Do we talk politics here? Kind of, sort of, roundabout. But like, I mean, you know full well what you're doing with that. You're just trying to pick a fight with that one. Come on, Nas. Why are they still arresting pipeline people? What? Who's arresting these pipeline? Who are these pipeline people? Oh, that's right. The minutes are at 2, aren't they? Yeah. If I remember right, the past couple of minutes, barely anything happened. Nord Stream pipeline affiliate? Oh, I have not heard anything about that. Yeah, whatever happened to the Nord Stream pipeline? Did that thing get done? Yeah, they're happening. I don't think the minutes has ever been an event you have to worry about. It's just the main announcement. I think I'm getting rid of this line. Maybe I shouldn't do that, but it's irritating me. Yeah, this is just fine. Doxo. 5 minute actually looks pretty interesting. 21 EMA, 50. We have this middle finger right here. So I don't know. Maybe I should be getting long right here. I don't know, something about the 2 minutes just, it doesn't feel right. I can't stop once I've started. It stings. I'm not saying either will move the market, just that they're definitely not helping right now. If that make. Oh, Trump's talking at 2:30. What's he talking about? All right, I'm turning on the fan. Hopefully the mic still sounds okay. Ah. What time frame do you use, Kevin? I promise I'm answering your question by asking you this question. It's scheduled per investing. That. Okay, it just says that he's talking. I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter what he's talking about because he can always just go off on a tangent. Okay, why do you like the 1 minute? Is this fair, Kevin? Let me speak for you real quick and let me know if I misrepresent your position. Would you say, well, Clay, I use the 1 minute because it best helps me implement my strategy? Is that a fair representation on my part of why you use the 1 minute? Yeah, that's a fair representation. Well, that's my answer to you. That's why I use the 2 minute because it best helps me implement my strategy. No, I don't think so. Not right now, Emrod. I don't really have it, and it's nothing personal. I've just literally, I have a podcast. I've never been on anybody else's podcast. Like, I don't know. I'm actually shy by nature. So like the thought of collabs and all, it's just like I don't know. It weirds me. It freaks me out as a shy person. So nothing personal, but I've always just kept my head down. Which method are you using to trade? The KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Because I'm a very stupid person, so I have to keep it simple. So I got some candlesticks. I got some moving averages, got some trend lines, got the VWAP, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, I like the 50K and the 150K account. Again, the size account doesn't, like a strategy, you should be able to take your strategy and apply it to any account. The only difference within the strategy would be position size, right? On a 25K account, when you have a tighter drawdown, I would hope you're going to lower position size to accommodate that. Looks interesting on the 10 minute. Can't say I've come across many traders. Again, I'm not saying you're wrong, but can't say I've come across many traders over the years that use the 10 minute. 5 minute, most people I've come across, even myself included, I would go from the 5 minute to the 15 minute. But hey, who knows? Maybe the 10 minute is a nice in between. Sort of like I find the 2 minute a nice in between of the 1 minute and the 5 minute. But yeah, there are variety ways to look at the market for sure. Yeah, keeping the West Wild does something a little differently. Use the 10 Neil? I did not know that. Oh, all right. Well, maybe some of it. I did not. Mark, did I know you? I only thought you were using tick charts these days, Mark. Fair enough, Nas. Fair enough. The 5 minute looks great. I should probably be getting long here based on the 5, but I don't know. There's something about the 2 minute that makes me. Yeah. Man, how do you keep track of all that stuff? My mind would. I'd go cross-eyed. Oh, I mean, I don't know if it is more respected, but yeah, the 2 minute best helps me implement my strategy. But if the 1 minute best helps you implement your strategy, then go with the 1 minute. If the 37.5 second time frame helps you best implement your strategy, go with that one. Sometimes I do Zinar. I have a couple different management approaches. Sometimes I definitely do scalp. Other times, though, I'll let the thing try to work for me. I will short Moderna soon. Why? Why are you even focused on stocks? What are you doing, baller? How many shares are you going to short? Moderna. How many shares? And at what level? 2 questions. How many are you going to short and at what level? All right, if this comes back down, I've got to try at 95. There you go. If this one's come back down, again, this is based on the 5 minute. We'll track it on the 2 minute. What makes you want to long this? A 5 minute looks good to me. 5 minute looks like there's a possibility it's done going down. 140 and 100. Okay, and then where would your target be? So you want to short at $140 and 100 shares. $180. Okay, I'll err on your side of caution. 80. So you're looking at a $60 upside. Okay, so is that a bot or is that real? WXMX Live. I can't tell. Is that a bot? Yeah, looks like one. So you want to use $14,000, right? So he wants to short at 140, okay? So 140, you want 100 shares. Well, right there, you need $14,000. And if things go well, and let's just say perfectly, you get shorted at 140, you get out at 80, that's a 60-point gain. So $60 per share, you own 100 shares, you're looking for a $6,000 profit. Okay, so you basically need $14,000 for $6,000 profit, and you need a massive move in the downwards direction. You're looking for $60 per share. Okay, like I said, baller, I'm just putting the math fully in your favor. Let's just say 80. So I want to maximize these numbers so I can illustrate to people how big of a baboon you're being. Okay. So he needs $14,000 and he's going for a $6,000 profit, assuming he absolutely nails it. Okay. Well, let's look at what the alternative could be, though. He could come over here and clearly the man wants to throw around some risk. So the guy could come over here and he could get 5. 5 150K accounts, because you can do copy trading. That's going to be 180 per account. So he's got $14,000. What's 180 times 5? Okay, so he needs $900 to do what I'm about to illustrate. 5 accounts, copy trading. He could get up to 15 NQs, but that's kind of ridiculous. Let's just go with 5 NQs. So he's going to go with 5 NQs. And let's just say he gets this short. You know, he shorts this and it goes from, I don't know, here down to here. Now think about this movement on the chart. Not very much. From here down to here. That's 20 points. Okay, let's do some more math. So 1 point is worth $20 in futures, NQ. So if he got 20 points at $20 a point, there you go. He got $400 per contract. If he had 5, we have to multiply that by 5. So he's at $2,000. But he also has 5 accounts. So we have to multiply that by 5. So all of a sudden, but he only gets to keep 80% of that. So let's time that by 0.8. So think about it. He needs $14,000. He needs a huge move to make $6,000. Or he could just take only $900 instead of $14,000. He could do what I did here, copy trade. And then all of a sudden, he doesn't need even that big of a move, and he's already made more, $8,000. Do you see why the math just doesn't make any sense? Baller 8 and Baller 47, you're not even new here. Like, surely, what are you doing, brother? I just joined and we're talking numbers already. Well, as opposed to what, Matt? Isn't trading kind of numbers? So at the end of the day, now do things take a little bit while longer per se in prop firm? Sure. The trade-off is there's a little bit of time because you got to get through a test phase. But like ultimately, big picture wise, the little bit of time required and then how the numbers work, it's worth taking a little bit more time. People made millions on Emirates. Yeah, what does that prove? People also made millions on things that have gone to zero. Again, Matt, I think this is why I might have to throw you in timeout or ban you, because you never listen. At no point in time has the argument ever been you can't make money day trading options. That's never been it. My point is you're making your job inefficient. I am of the team of efficiency. Let's work smarter, not harder. And day trading futures through a prop firm is smarter, not harder. In the world of options, it's very easy. You are literally working harder by default because you have to deal with theta. If you can remove theta, you by default have just become more efficient because there is no theta, and that's what futures do. But when people throw in, well, so-and-so just made money. Nowhere did I ever say you can't make money. You are not listening to what I'm saying. And Matt's, he's always been on the watch list of, is he a troll or is he serious? I'm not quite sure, but this comment now leads the scale a little bit more to I think he's just a troll. Sure, there are pros and cons to both. Mathematically, the pros are far, far in favor of day trading futures through a prop firm. And again, like I said, it's not even hard to explain why futures are better than options. Why choose to deal with theta if you don't have to? You know? Well, again, that's Matt's. That's why I've always been a little confused on, is this guy a troll or just slightly dented, or is he, I don't know. For 350K accounts, what should my sizing be? I don't know. Zanar, that's up to you, man. You got to figure that out. Nobody can tell you what your sizing can be because nobody knows your personal risk tolerance. In other words, nobody can tell you how to have fun because we all have different risk tolerances. I could tell you how to have fun by reading a nice little book. Somebody else might say, hey, have fun by going skydiving. Somebody else may say, hey, have fun swimming with sharks. Are any of those three people wrong? No. Do all three of those people have different definitions of fun because they have different personal risk tolerances? Yes. Trading is the same way. So nobody can tell you the proper sizing other than you because you are you and you know your risk tolerance. What if you want to trade in? Well, I mean, all that. What if you want to be inefficient? That's what you just said. I want to trade. Okay, well, then go be inefficient. Day trading individual stocks is not efficient. Again, my argument is one of efficiency, Mats82. If you can't comprehend that, then we have one of two things. You're not genuinely trying to use your brain, or you're just rage baiting and trolling. Like, that's where we're at this point, Mats. It's not a difficult argument. No idea about what I looked into. I came here for charts and mindset on the market. Just over here looking at charts and hearing this guy get destroyed. Who's this guy? I'm not trying to destroy anybody, but math tends to do that sometimes. Clay, don't even respond to the stupid stuff. Why not? Some people are genuine and they're stupid. They're truly new. They're not trying to rage bait. They're just stupid because they're new. So Leroy, newsflash, you used to be stupid too. Right? All new people are by default stupid. So yeah, I want to help people out. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I told him how to have fun. Yeah, there you go. Do you have channel moderators? Oh yeah, the best. The best. And they get paid too. I have recovered, but I don't have any stories of epic comebacks. We're like, man, I was 37 cents away from blowing up and I came back. I don't have anything like that. All right, here's potentially a long here. Yep. I will try a long if it wants to come back up here. So if this wants to come up to the green line, I'm going to try a long. Okay, I got to put Mats in timeout. I'm not going to ban him, but I need a break from this guy. He's got to be rage baiting. He's got to be rage baiting. Did I ever figure out the bots? You definitely, don't you know? Okay, yeah, he knows. He knows that there's somebody bot attacking. So we'll give him the 30. I need a 30-minute timeout myself from Mats. Yeah, mod get paid. I'm far from stupid. Oh, I'm stupid. I think the truly stupid people are those that think they're not stupid. It's the people that show up thinking they never have anything to learn and that they got everything figured out. AK, I'm not stupid. It's those people that I'm like, nah, you're stupid. Isn't there a great irony in that? I can tell the people I want to be around are the ones who are like, yeah, I'm pretty stupid. Yeah, you do, Clay. I do what? No, no, it never got that bad. Roger that, Marcos. I'm always learning. Well, then you're stupid, aren't you? Because stupid people need to learn. Well, you sound stupid to me if you don't know it all. The goal is to become less stupid. That doesn't mean that you're not stupid. It just means you're less stupid. That's kind of what life is all about. Let's just do our best to become less stupid. Okay, again, trying to get long here at the green line. Guess I'm stupid then, Clay. Yeah, so am I. Now, am I stupid in addition? No. Again, let's think in categories. Am I stupid in addition? No, I know that 2 + 2 = 5. So I'm not stupid in the category of mathematical addition. I'm also not stupid in the category of colors. That line right there is clearly blue, you know? I'm not stupid in the category of shapes. I clearly just drew a rectangle, okay? So some areas you are no longer stupid in. And there's got to be at least one person here right now that's like, dude, does this guy not realize that he's actually stupid in the cat? There's got to be at least one. No Forrest quotes? Forrest Gump. Okay, I'm glad okay, never mind. All right, I'm going to try for the VWAP down here then. Forrest quotes? You mean Forrest Gump quotes? I think if you don't know you're stupid, it makes you ignorant. Well, are ignorant people stupid? Is it stupid to be ignorant? What do you... Forrest Gump, is that even... I mean, I guess there's a couple of quotes there, but I don't know if Forrest Gump is as quotable as the gems such as Dumb and Dumber. Oh, you're gonna stupid is as stupid does? Gotcha. Gotcha. That's what you're getting at. That's right. Can't sit here. Seats taken. You can sit here if you want. What's wrong with your legs? Nothing, thank you very much. My mama says, then he says something, and then the classic Jenny. Are you stupid or something? Stupid is as stupid does. Good. That was so nice of her. Good old Jenny. I'm talking about a place where the beer flows like wine. I'm talking about where the women instinctively flock like the salmon of Capistrano. I'm talking about a little place called Aspen. I don't know, Lloyd. The French are... that is the VWAP. So that's where I need to, because I was arguing Dumb and Dumber becomes funnier the more educated you are. So I don't know, what are the salmon of Capistrano? I still don't get that reference. I'm assuming they like, are they a type of salmon, or Capistrano, is that a location? I still don't get that reference, by the way. So I'm sure that line could get even funnier if I understood the reference itself. Again, I'm trying to get long at the VWAP here. Okay, I'm going to actually go slightly below now at this point. You've had 2 pairs of gloves? Yeah, we're in the Rocky. I'm going to kill you. What? I'm going to kill you. Harry, your hands are freezing. Swallows migrate. Are you serious? Is that the reference, Matt? Stop. That's the I actually believe you, because that's how clever the writing is. Oh, it gets funnier. Oh my goodness. That is fantastic. Oh, that movie is I didn't think it could get any better, and it just did. That reference is brilliant then. Here, I hope you're not using the toilet. It's broken. Yeah, we talked about that one. And then the music. Oh, that is great. That is great. Looking for a long at the green line. Well, no, that's not the joke. No, that's not the joke. He's not saying they literally go to. He's using that as a metaphor. Where the women, right? He's using it's a metaphor where the women instinctively flock. So he's not literally saying. So no, that's actually not it. That AI. Did you get that from AI? If so, that's further proof that AI is not the be all end all. Both, Zinar, both. Matt's explanation makes perfect sense, though. The metaphor in which he used doesn't even actually make sense. Like, it's not a good metaphor. Yeah, so, all right. So, AI still has some work to do. Just like, what was it, a few weeks ago when that one prop firm is basically on their lifeline. And somebody's like, well, I signed up with them because AI told me they were better than Take Profit Trader. And I'm like, dude, they're literally about to go under. Are you serious? You're not going to film me here? All right, fine. Canceled. So yes, AI, we got work to do. Wolfie, what was that one guy's name? One of those irritating instances where you try to help the guy out and then he just ultimately listens to AI and AI send them to somebody where, yeah, they're on the edge of going kaput. And then according to AI, they were better than Take Profit Trader. It's like, ugh. I kind of want to short here, but we're still right at this potential bounce area. So, yeah, it's... I guess I could get long. Okay, let me just... 56. Oh, 8-point stop. 8-point stop. I can do that. I'll do that. 7-point stop. With slippage, we'll call it 8, 9 points. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, I'm long. There we go. I am long. Let's see if it wants to bounce. It's mainly based on the 5-minute. What are we doing here? Huh? Thank you, brother, you little scumbag rat. All right, let's take risk off the table. I don't like these games. You know what? No. I'm leaving it down here. You don't know me. Don't even try to stop me. I'm going to let it cook. So it could still be a red trade. It'll just be less. Oh, crap. That's not where I want my stop. My stop needs to be down below that low. There we go. Now get up there, brother. I try to include it in my... Oh, AI in my trading, but it makes so many... Yeah. AI, yeah. No, I think... You mean trailing drawdown. Oh, no. Yeah, I think that's... I mean, I understand why, but if you just do base hits, it does wonders when in regards to the trailing drawdown. Get up there, brother. Okay, maybe the market's not identifying as a brother today. Get up there, sister. Come on, sister. Oh, it is. It's identifying as a sister today. Yeah, sister. Come on, sister. Okay, I don't know what. I think the market's... Okay, sister. Sister. Hey, who remembers that show? Sister. Was that TGIF? Well, he called it an end of day trailing drawdown. So he kind of used it like both. I don't know, Maddie. That's, I guess, word on the street, but we'll see what happens. But it all sounds like if that does happen, those accounts will cost more, which seems pretty standard practice. Wasn't that a TV show? Yeah, no, it definitely was. Tamika and Tamara, right? Dang, my Tamika and Tamara. Pretty sure it was TGIF. Get up there, brother. Or I mean, sister. Get up there. Yeah, the twins. That's right. Tia and Tamara. Okay, is that what their names were? Oh, yeah, Evan. She would know. The Bulls are struggling. Yeah, I mean, I'd like for them to give a little bit more strength to the upside, but we'll see. See that green and yellow line coming together? Nope. I do not see a green and yellow line coming together. Well, that's that. That is that. Well, if you've ever had that happen to you, hey, it's happened to me too. There it is. The solution, you just blame the market makers. It's not my fault. It's never my fault. It's always the market maker's fault. Nice stop. Are you mocking me? Because after I got stopped out, it bounced all the way back up here. Are you mocking me, Leroy? Are you mocking me with hindsight in your favor? You can't lose if you don't trade. That's true. That's true. Okay, I can't tell. WSMX Live. Type ABC. WMSX Live. Type ABC. That's right. Protect capital first. Risk management. I'm just confused because that was just more like, it seemed like a general update. It wasn't some sketchy like crypto coin or something you mentioned. So I don't know. I can't tell. Yeah, I am assuming he's a bot, but I wouldn't call it like a no-brainer, which is why I wanted to give it a chance. But I'm not seeing any ABC, so yeah. And I cried freedom, dancing in the night with them. Do you hear what I hear? Do you hear what I hear? A star, dancing in the wind. What month is it? August. We're close to Christmas. We're close to Christmas. Oh boy, am I about to try this long here again? There is quite a bit of congestion down here. I'm going to try it. Five-point risk. Let's see what happens. ABC received. Humanity scored 1%. Infuriating sarcastic routine and pretending to understand. You lost me, brother. What do you mean AB? He didn't type ABC. Hey, did you unblock Dean? Which would be great if you did. I'm acting. Oh, you're acting as AI. Is AI smart enough to say that you're acting as AI? Think about that. No, I think this thing, no. A star, a star. If I see one more unhinged thing from Dean, then I'll just block him again. I didn't want to keep the convo going from when you... Gotcha. All right. Hear that, Dean? Don't... Well, listen. Here's the thing, No Suit. If you present with him a valid case, he's good. He's good at apologizing for his unhingedness. So if he becomes unhinged, I guess what I'm saying is confront him with good, solid logic, and he'll apologize. But it's got to be good, solid logic. But you should be able to do so if he truly becomes unhinged. Because I think unhinged, by definition, means you have departed from logic. So per your premise, if he becomes unhinged, that therefore assumes that there is a logical explanation that should bring him back to being hinged. No, he's not sensitive. I think to steelman his argument is, I don't want to waste my time. And if somebody is unhinged and won't get hinged again, it becomes a waste of my time. I think that's the steelman argument he's making. Is Labor Day even a holiday? Is that even like I don't know. Labor Days, I don't what and I could be wrong. Full disclosure, isn't the history of Labor Day a bit sketchy? Maybe it's not. I don't know, but like for some reason there's like a light flashing in my mind that's like Labor Day, like what? Huh? It's not a work day, so it's a holiday. Okay. I guess under that definition, if that's the definition of a holiday, it's just simply not a work day. Then okay, I guess I don't celebrate holidays. So you just going to work? You're the only person in the building on the holidays, Leroy. Is that what you're telling me? I think I might try a short here now. Unless this is just a sucker breakdown. Okay, birthdays is a weird one. I'm sorry, this is my take. But on a birthday, the mom should get the gifts. What exactly did the kid do on their birthday other than, you know what I mean? I think, I don't think there should be a Mother's Day. I think mothers should have multiple days for them based on how many kids they've had. To me, that's always been a weird one. Like, as somebody now that has been a part of 6 births, I'm like, why is my wife not getting gifts on that day? That's true. Ooh, Kyle, that's deep. That's deep. Try saying that's your kid. I think my kids would agree. My kids are, they're actually, I'm proud of them. Especially Faye and Dot. I think that they're going to be law firm partners someday. Their logic for their age is, like, they would cook. Some of the people we've had come through here, all kidding aside, Faye, who's, I don't know what, like 8, and Dot, who is 11, they would cook some of these. Again, I realize that some of these people that have come through don't have the bar set that high, but like, did you say she's pregnant or we're pregnant? I always said my wife is pregnant. The we're pregnant thing, yeah, I'm not on board. The whole, yeah, we're pregnant. No, no, my wife is pregnant. Now, am I gonna not be your friend? Like, if a friend came and said, "Hey, guess what? We're pregnant," I'll just say congrats. Like, I'm not gonna like defriend you, but yeah. But the whole we're pregnant thing, nah. But I don't know. My wife, she's all about, like, there's not an ounce of her that expects anything on, like, she, in fact, that's the one she wants to go all out for. All out for the birthdays. That's the day where we shower them with gifts and stuff like that. Um, But yeah, I don't know any moms out there that actually like should be like, I should be getting something. Like, I don't know. It seems like, as far as I'm concerned, like moms are like, no, the kids get the gifts. I'm just saying, like, from my perspective, I don't understand the whole birthday thing. We've been trying is such an uncomfortable phrase. Well, I know I don't really struggle with that. I take that as we've been trying. What have you been trying? We've been trying to get me pregnant. And I'm not trying to turn this into the birds and the bees, but like you two people do need to try to get the one person pregnant. I'll just leave it there. I'll just leave it there. Yeah, the partner thing, I'm not, yeah, I don't, again, none of these would I ever, like, I'm not going to, like, not be friends with you. But, like, yeah, that's agreed, agreed. That means you've been putting work. We've been trying. That means you've been putting work. Again, I'm not trying to turn this into birds and bees. Again, you guys think, listen, I'm not trying to, like, let's just bring logic. There's nothing more than logic than numbers. Work. Work is the amount of energy transferred. Work equals force times distance. Again, I'm not trying to turn this into birds and bees, but I assure you, mathematically, in a physics standpoint, it does take work. We've been trying. You're like, well, yes, there is work. There is work there, Grant. There is work. You just got it. There is work involved. There is work involved. Dang, did I ever think that I'd be looking at the equation for work today? What does the work look like? It looks like this. There is a force traveling a distance, and there you go. That's it. You have 6 kids. No, yeah, I have no idea. I think birds just drop them off. I think that's why it's the birds and the bees, because there's a stork that will drop off the baby. On the way down, the bees give it some honey, and there you go. I guess. And I think the calling card for the storks is when two people kiss. It's like the bat signal. The bat signal, except it's a stork signal, happens when two people kiss. That is my understanding. Hey, Johnny, you're back. Glad I'm joining your bit. Yeah, I'm just here. We're just solving the great mysteries of life. I mean, there you go. Nathan is going pure math. It's just equations. Does kissing send out a frequency that triggers the stork to know? Yeah, possibly. That's Grant. I think we're in the realm of reasonability right now. How did we get on this topic? Oh, so is it? So I did this with my wife last night. We were talking about one thing, and then we were talking about like a teenager's basically dating life. Like, oh, they would make a good match with so and so. Blah blah blah. What do you think? It's like, and I was like, stop. What? I don't feel like talking about the dating habits of this. Like, I'm not in matchmaking mode right now. How did we get here? And at one point we were talking about farmland. So farmland and the topic of should the person hold this farmland or sell it. One little comment opened up the rabbit trail, and we got this talking about some teenager guy's dating life. It's wild. So that's kind of what happened here. How did we get to me looking at the physics equations of work when it comes to babies? How? That's why I love these live streams. I mean, somebody makes one comment, and then before you know it, there's like 30. And then I know some people right here are furious. Can we talk about trading? Okay, actually, that's not that'd be that is actually a valid critique right now because this is some good action. So yeah, we will talk about trading. So that was a bad time to yank out that example. All right, I'm trying to long right there, boy. Okay, looking for a long at the green line. I'm trying to catch a knife here, but I think there's some logic behind the knife catch. But anyway, so my wife and I tracked it back, and it was hilarious. It was like 5 different steps. And it made sense how we got there from the original conversation, but it still really didn't have anything to do with it. It was just, that's a long blade catch. Well, let's see what happens, brother. Little scalpy scalp there. Don't catch falling knives. Why not? I just made money from. Why don't you want me to make money, Leroy? That's crazy. I don't know if I really have a problem with WSM. Like, he's just giving us, I guess, where these areas got rejected. So it's kind of just like an FYI. I don't know if I really have a problem with that sort of message. Like, thanks. That's crazy, though, Leroy. I don't know what I did to you for you to tell me to not do things that just made me money. I'm sorry, Leroy. Whatever I said to you, brother, I'm sorry. Please, you seemed very upset, and you're now telling me to do things that would make me money. Well, then why'd you tell me not to catch the knife? Why can't you catch knives? Now, I agree with you, don't catch knives randomly, but there is some logic behind that where I caught it, and in my defense, it worked out for a little scalpy scalp. Yeah, no, I'm a fan of the knife. I do agree, though, with the nuance of don't just catch the knife randomly. Have some logic behind it. Okay, Mats is back. We'll see if I can... It's fine, Mats. It's fine. It just went through your right hand there. What? I had a winning trade, Leroy. That's a dumb phrase. There aren't falling knives. There are only people that do not know. Okay, that's too philosophical for me. Your brain, you just, wow. That's deep. But I have no idea what you just said. But that was deep, man. That was deep. And I'm not even kidding. I got to think about that one. There aren't falling knives. There are only people that do not know the destination. So if you do know the destination, then it's actually not a falling knife, because a falling knife implies you don't know the destination because it's a falling knife. Is that what you're saying? Or am I just way overthinking this? Or maybe I'm still not thinking hard enough. There are only people too stupid to see the future. Correct. There is no such thing as well, okay, yeah. If you know the destination, yeah, agreed. There's no such thing as a falling knife. So the inverse of that would be true. If you don't know the destination, then it is a falling knife. And given nobody knows anything, since there are no guarantees, it therefore is a falling knife, though. Because you cannot know the destination. Knowing implies you're the greatest trader in the history of trading. Right? I don't know, Mr. Wall Street. It was a deep statement. Maybe we're saying the same thing. My understanding, though, is you're saying If you know the destination, aka where it's going to bounce, well, then there's no falling knife because you know where it's going to bounce. But what I'm saying is, well, nobody knows anything in trading. Ultimately, we're all taking guesses. So therefore, because you cannot know anything in trading, then you cannot know the destination. Therefore, it's got to always be a falling knife. How do we get talking about falling? Because take it, Matt. How do you think? Do you see this? You see this? Come on, man. You disagree with what? You think it's possible to know something in the market?
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
Are you going to go to the property today?
Yeah.
Okay, what time?
Probably like an hour-ish.
Okay.
Yes, I was taught that you were taught that you can know. Okay, I mean, I was taught that 2 + 2 = 5. I don't know if that means it's true that I was taught that way years ago. If you stand for nothing. I like Mr. Wall Street, though. This dude he tried to help me solve, what's the wage? The living wage thing. No, I think I understand what he's saying. I think our disagreement right now is, can you know or not? To know is to make a guarantee. And the only guarantee in the market is that there are no guarantees. The only thing to know about the markets is you can't know. There are certain areas where the price is headed. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but not headed there guaranteed they're not. And if you're saying, no, there are prices where the price is guaranteed to go, and I know what those levels are, well, then you are definitely the best trader in the history of trading, and you are worth billions, if not trillions of dollars. Agreed, yes. If you catch a falling knife wrong, it's done. Again, Mr. Wall Street, at the end of the day, you see, I don't think I'm understanding you right, but you seem to be suggesting there are areas, there are movements, maybe only happen once or twice a day, but you know where the price is going to go down to that level, and you know that the price is going to bounce at that level. Again, if that is the case, and you're saying, and I know what those times are and where those levels are, well, then you are like an elite trader. You are like probably one of the richest people in the world. To know where the price is going and to know where it's going to bounce, dang, that's pretty impressive. You are very, 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 very rich. It will either bounce or hang out for a couple of coffee, and then after it hangs out, will it bounce? After it hangs out for a cup of coffee, will it then bounce? %90 of trading is what's that one saying? 60% of the time it's right every time, or something like that. Right, yeah. If you catch the knife properly, there's money to be made. The longer it hangs around, the less likely of a bounce. Okay, so what you're saying is it might not bounce. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Wall Street? That it might not bounce? Yeah, Yogi Berra. He's a good one. Gonna hold off on shorts. I am looking for a short right now. It will or won't. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. The if makes a big. I agree. If you buy in the right spot, you're going to make money. If you buy in the wrong spot, you're going to lose money. So if your buy is correct, you'll make money. If your buy is incorrect, you'll lose money. It kind of sounds like circular logic right now. Because I do agree. If you do something and the something you do is correct, you'll get the positive reward, right? If I answer this question correctly, the teacher will give me a smiley face sticker. So if you know the correct levels, so if you know, right, but that's my point. Nobody knows the correct levels. If you know the correct levels all the time, then you are like, that is a guarantee. Like it's guaranteed to stop going down at that point. It's guaranteed to stop going down and bare minimum go sideways. Yeah. Because again, part of going sideways is at least a little bit of a bounce up, right? Going sideways is not going down to a level and then literally just doing this, like no fluctuations. There is going to be some of this. So again, if you know where that area is at, then, I mean, you're going to scalp these till your heart's content and you're going to be like the richest person in the history of trading. So yeah, I would disagree that you can know where the correct levels are. I'm right more than not. Okay, well, that's not knowing then, is it? That sounds like you're a good guesser, but not a knower. Because somebody that knows is right 100% of the time. A good guesser is right more than they're not. All right, in trading lingo, we would call that somebody with an edge. But an edge is not knowing, because knowing is 100%. An edge would be like, I don't know. What, you're probably at what, 60%, maybe 70%, Mr. Wall Street? That's a good guesser, but that's not a knower. $80, very good. So your guesses are right 80% of the time. That's a good edge. But that's not knowing. So no, you do not know where the correct zones are per your own admission. Sounds like you're saying 80% of the time though. 80% of the time you can guess, which is fantastic. I like it. That's a good edge. So back to the point, you do not know the destination. You have an 80% chance of guessing the right destination, but that's not knowing the destination. So because you don't know the definition, it is a falling knife. There we go. What a great discussion. Down the rabbit hole of logic there, but there we go. So Mr. Wall Street is a very good guesser. No, because it is not respected if it falling. Okay, my understand. I thought you were saying that if you know the destination, it's not a falling knife. Oh, wait. Okay, maybe I see what he's saying. He's saying if you buy the bottom and then you get the bounce, it was not actually a falling knife because it bounced. A falling knife would just keep falling. I think, is that what you're saying? Okay, then I have no idea what you're saying. It seems like you just don't want to admit that falling knives exist. They don't. Well, here, let's do this. Per your definitions, they don't exist. Fair enough. But last I checked, I don't think there's a universal definition of a falling knife. Okay, this is just, I'm not saying this is the be-all end-all, but one definition, a falling knife is a market term for an asset whose price drops very fast in a short time. This phrase comes from the warning, don't catch a falling knife, meaning you will get hurt if you try to grab it before it hits the ground. In trading, catching the knife means the asset, buying the asset while it is still falling and hoping to get a cheap price right before it goes back up. Yeah. So, I mean, again, I'm not saying, but yeah, per that definition, that sounds very familiar. I am trying to buy it cheap right before it goes back up. There we go. So there, we'll go with that. Falling knives do not exist per however Mr. Wall Street is actually defining a falling knife, per his definition. And as we've learned, definitions vary from person to person, right? Again, and that's my point. You don't know either. You can't use the word no. Because you don't know. Per your own admission, you don't know. You're a good guesser, but but knowing means something. You don't know. There's no disagreement. You've already admitted that you don't know. Right? 80% of the time. 80% is not 100%. The key is knowing where the ground levels or destinations are. Right. But per my premise, per your admission, you don't know. You have a good edge. You're good at guessing, but it is a guess. It's not knowing. That's all I'm saying. No, he's not trolling me. Mr. Wall Street, he's a good guy. He's not trolling. No, I like him because he's willing, when we had the conversation about a living wage, He actually we got into it. We, in a good way, we got into it. We were trying to help narrow it down. And we basically concluded that everybody needed to do more research on the most efficient way to get protein. That is where that left. Again, asking him for where the next ground level is, that's not going to prove anything. He's already admitted, well, I don't know where it's at. Now, I guess over, the course of 100 of these questions, he'd probably give us the level 80 times. But yeah, asking him once, a sample size of 1 isn't going to prove anything. Eat meat, chicken? I don't know. I think crickets might be a more cost-effective way to get protein than chicken. Or is it grasshoppers? Or is it both? No, I think the bug route is probably the most efficient way to get protein. Do you like Culver's? I'll never have it, and I probably never will, because I have a buddy that is obsessed, and I love messing with him by always talking trash, and just the fact that I've never had it drives him nuts. You ever had crickets, Clay? I don't think so. Never ate a bug. Well, you might. You might someday. Algae? There's protein in algae? Everyone knows where they are. Where what is? There's a reason why, technically speaking, there is no resistance or support, right? Because to just say resistance or support implies that that level will support the price. Now, I realize what people mean. We're like, all right, I think that's, or, there's the support. Or at least I think what they mean. What I mean when I say, okay, that level's a support is why that level's a potential support, right? Because I don't know if it's a support, but it seems likely that it's a potential support, right? Like I said, we were having the conversation. People talk about, everybody needs a living wage. And it's like, okay, well, let's define living. What do people need to live? And Mr. Wall Street, he started to throw out some things. Bare essentials or blah, blah, blah. They need some protein. And I'm like, okay, cool, fair enough. But like, what kind of protein? Because let's make this most efficient as possible. If it's going to be coming from the taxpayers, let's make it as efficient as possible. So then that's how we got to, well, what is the most efficient cost-wise of protein? Is it chicken? Is it goat? Is it algae? Is it crickets? I don't know. That was where we left that off. What is the most mathematically efficient way to produce protein? Were they good? Oh, really, Kyle? Yeah, I have heard. I don't know if I've heard of 8, but I've heard like when you sleep, like there's spiders crawling in your mouth and like all sorts of stuff. Rabbits, maybe, maybe. I still think it's got to be bugs. No, I don't think meat is the most cost-effective way to generate protein. That is the question on the table. What is the most cost-effective way to generate protein? Let us see you eat a bug. Okay. What does me eating a bug have to do with anything? Bugs for sure. Yeah, that's where I'm leaning. No, fish? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't. Is it cheap though? Yeah, I mean, well, okay. I guess I'm thinking of like fishing, like you have to go catch them individually, but I guess per your case, you could have them in just big tanks. Because commercial infrastructure is still scaling up, cricket powder is currently far more expensive per gram of protein than whey, chicken, or beans. It's okay. So, but once it scales up, like once we've committed to this and we know we're going to scale up, then it sounds like cricket powder would be the most effective. Yep, I sure do, Mats. We do. We're looking at each other very nice. We're trying to keep each other alive. I cannot think of anything. Let me put it this way, Legendary. The alternate, the counterfactual to what we're arguing for is death. We want to keep people alive, hence a living wage. So what do we need to keep people alive? Per the premise, without us doing this thing, they die. So, I mean, you can step down your like knight in shining armor. Like we're already being the knight in shining armor. We are choosing, trying to figure out a way to keep our fellow human being alive. I cannot think of anything more noble than that. Let them die and starve or keep them alive. We are choosing to keep them alive. We're also just trying to be respectful of other people's money and hard work by making this process as efficient as possible. So, I mean, I think we're respecting everybody. We're keeping people alive while at the same time respecting our fellow humans' tax dollars. Yeah, again, Legendary, you weren't even here for that, and you're just regurgitating nonsense. A living wage is a minimum income a worker needs to cover basic needs. Yeah? What's basic? Like food. Again, what is basic food? That is what we're trying to solve. Housing. What's basic housing? What happens if my definition of of basic housing is a Malibu mansion. Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, how? Why is my definition of basic for basic housing wrong? If hey, we're all deserving a mansion in Malibu. Why is that wrong? Afford a decent standard of living. Yeah, again, what happens if my definition of decent is the Malibu mansion? What's wrong with that? We're trying to define our terms, Legendary. We're not just using catchphrases. We're trying to think critically through this. Again, I have taken the logic to an extreme to illustrate my point. Where is the line? That is my point. To just say decent, that doesn't mean anything. Who gets to define decent? And I'm illustrating that by driving it to a far logical extreme, such as a Malibu mansion. Clay, let the government worry about that. Well, we the people are the government, so... And maybe I'll run for government, and this will be my policy platform. That seems like a really, let the government... Okay, yeah, let the people that are notorious at wasting money think about that. No, that's okay, Leroy. I'm going to think about it a little bit. I'm still waiting for Legendary. I want to hear his definition of decent. Clay, you argue with everybody. Well, I mean, I'm debating points, sure. I don't think considering feeding everyone cricket powder for protein is decent. We got to discuss what we consider decent. That's what I'm asking you, you dent. You dent. Did I not just say, what is your definition of decent? And your reply is, we got to discuss what we consider decent for a human being. Yes, that's why I asked you, what is your definition of decent? Again, my definition of decent is the Malibu mansion. Why am I wrong? Why is my definition of decent wrong? Malibu mansion. Why? Why is that wrong? Dimitri, what are you doing, you dent? You're not new here. In fact, you're part of the private community. What makes you think that talking about other people in the chat was a good idea? Other than that, it's hard to define. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to illustrate. You can't really define it. I'm taking it at face value and to define it. A living wage. Let's keep them alive. If they are living, then they are being clearly paid a living wage. How can we tell that they're being paid a living wage? Because they're living. Now, do we have to keep them alive with T-bone steaks? With goat meat? With cricket protein? My argument is, if we're going to use taxpayer dollars, I would like my tax dollars used in the most efficient way possible. That is my argument. I'm all for keeping people alive, but I don't think there's anything wrong with me wanting to keep them alive most efficiently from a tax dollar spent perspective. If that makes me a jerk, I guess I'm sorry for wanting mine and yours tax dollars to be used efficiently to keep a fellow human alive. Good eye, Philly. I'm watching it. Now, again, people like Legendary are going to vilify me. Well, that's a mean position. Okay, well, what is your position? Well, I can't really define it. Not to mention, I'm just taking definition at face value. If you want to call it a living wage, well, then let's keep them alive. And all companies are motivated intrinsically to pay their employees a living wage. Why? Because if they have dead employees, they can't really grow as a company anymore, can they? But what people actually mean is, well, Clay, I feel entitled to a house with 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, a white picket fence, 1 acre, 2 cars in the garage. I feel entitled to that. So that's, yeah, unless we have that, then yeah, the company's, I mean, my skill set is only flipping burgers, but reasons, I feel entitled to that type of lifestyle. So yeah, Yeah, so just give it to me. Let me take other people's money from taxes to give me that standard of living. To me, that seems immoral. Is there a difference between to keep alive and living? I don't think so. If you are alive, you are living. Living things are alive. So no, I don't think there's a difference. Okay, again, you are dodging my question because I pigeonholed you. What is your definition of decent? I'm still waiting. What is your definition? I've given you my definition. Yeah, don't even get me. No, we're not going on the housing thing again. Don't even get me started on housing is unaffordable. No, your unwillingness to move someplace where it is affordable. That's the problem. We trading or debating? Well, given there's nothing to do right now with trading, we're just having a nice little conversation. Like there's not for me, there's nothing to trade right now. I thought living wage was the amount someone needed to live without government assistance. Yeah, what does somebody need to live? You know what I mean? And where? Where is this taking place? Is that can we put everybody in like I don't know, Wyoming, where the cost of living would be very cheap? Therefore, the barrier to get off government assistance is that much lower. Hey, Vesgo. If the housing is cheap, it's either trash or a trash place. Yeah, James, that's completely wrong. I can assure you here in Iowa, it is not a trash place, and there are houses here that are quite affordable. But people hear Iowa, what? Iowa? Well, that's where do you want to live? I want to live where I grew up in New York City. Okay, well then get a skill set that allows you to live in New York City. It's not my fault that you went to school to get a Roman bobsledding PhD, and now you're drowning in debt. Yet now you expect me to give you my money so that you can continue to stay in New York City. Like, how is that moral? I made bad decisions, so I'm gonna vote to force you to bail me out of my bad decisions instead of taking responsibility. No. Gets too cold in Iowa. Fine, then get a skill set that allows you to not have to move to Iowa. It's very simple. If you don't want to get a skill set, well, then you might have to move to Iowa. A condition of living is getting bigger or growing. I think there is a difference. No, I would say if you are alive, you are living. Oh, minimum wage is a total scam. Companies should be able to pay you 50 cents an hour. But I have a sneaky suspicion that company might have some problems. What do you think? What do you think that company might have problems of at 50 cents an hour? I think they might have problem finding employees. Do you trade stocks? No, I used to day trade stocks, but day trading stocks, day trading options does not make sense. Mathematically does not make sense. I'm still waiting, Legendary. What is your definition of decent? Sounds to me like you're just giving sound bites. You're just regurgitating what you heard on the news, but then now when pressed for definitions, you're just like words. Making too much money. What? Again, my logic self-admittedly breaks down if you're in Somalia or North Korea or Botswana. I don't know. My logic breaks down. But this is America where you have choices. You have choices. Now, I'm not saying they're the most preferential choices. I'm not saying that, but you do have choices. My definition of decent is living under a bridge with a full stomach. So what's next, Clay? Okay, then yeah. So it goes back to the food thing. What is a decent amount of food? Somebody mentioned protein. Fair enough. What kind of protein? And then that's how we landed on the conversation of what is the most efficient way to produce protein. Because to just say, well, decent food for people is they need protein. Okay, cool. We're making progress. Now let's go to the next layer. What kind of protein? Are we talking, T-bone steaks? Or some other kind of protein? If a company pays 50 cents an hour, the problem they have is making too much money. How are they making money if they don't have any employees? If I'm starting a company and I'm like 50 cents an hour and I want to grow this company, I have a sneaky suspicion that nobody's going to apply if I'm offering 50 cents an hour. And here's the thing. This is how savage I am. If I know that there's a company where people are actually accepting 50 cents an hour, I'm going to go crush that company. How? I'm going to go there and I'm going to offer people $1 per hour. But then you know what? You know what Kyle's going to do? Kyle's like, oh, I'm going to crush Clay. I'm going there and I'm going to offer people $1.50 an hour. And then Keeping the West Wild is like, oh, Kyle is mine. I'm going to go there. I'm offering people $2 an hour. And then Rick's going to be like, oh, Keeping the West Wild, he's mine. I'm going to go there. I'm offering people $3 an hour. And then Jocko is going to be like, oh boy, it's time to eat. I'm going to that town. I'm going to offer people $4 an hour. And then Animosity is going to be like, oh boy, it's game time. He's going to go there. He's going to start to offer people $5 an hour. Do you see how competition, like when people are trying to crush one another, one way to crush another company is to steal their employees. One way to steal employees is to offer to pay them more. Now, there does reach a point where like the company is looking at their numbers and they're like, yeah, no, I literally cannot afford, like the skill sets here, that's the max. Well, then that's where it's going to stay. I want points from the market instead. Well, right now, there's not a whole lot of points to be had. One pizza party every 5 years. Well, if you don't like one pizza party every 5 years, then feel free to look for a company that offers 3 pizza parties every 5 years. What if they can collude to keep wages low? Well, that sounds like an opportunity for me to just knock out 3 people at once. I mean, because I'm a greedy capitalist. So if 5 companies want to collude, and because I'm greedy, I'm like, well, I'm not going to collude. I'm just going to raise my wages and not kill 5 birds with one stone out of pure greed. Well, greed will win. Same exact way as how greed solves the college debt problem, right? A greedy banker is not going to loan any kid $150,000 to get a Roman bobsled degree, right? That mean banker out of greed. Why? Why? Because they're greedy. They want their loan paid back. Why do I use a 2-minute chart? Momo, what time frame do you use? And I promise I'm answering your question as I ask you this question. What time frame do you use? Yeah, also finding job is difficult at the moment. I know a lot of people in the trades around IM. They'd love to have you. Carpenters, HVAC, plumbers, electricians, concrete guys. They'd love to have you. So... in fact, I don't want to say all of them, but I know a lot of, like my nephew, for example, he's become an electrician. The company's actually paying for him to go to school to become an electrician while paying him to work there. So he's not only getting paid to learn the skill because they're paying for him, he's actually getting paid by the company for the work he's doing. Like, talk about my nephew, shout out Hank, working the system. I use 1 minute time frame. Okay, well, Momo, I don't want to misrepresent your reasoning, but is this fair reasoning, Momo? That you, if I were to ask you why to use the 1 minute, that you would say, well, Clay, I use the 1 minute because it best helps me implement my strategy. Would that be a fair answer you'd give me? By the way, Legendary, don't think I didn't notice. You waved the white flag with your living under the bridge. See? Hence my point. Define your terms. And you realize, well, crap, how do I define that? Yes, okay, cool. Yeah, I've got experience in carpentry, siding, and so, well, let's go. Well, I know there's places, I'm sure there's got to be places around the country that'll hire you there. I asked for your definition of decent. And then when you realized you couldn't give it to me, you said it was the conversation was going nowhere. Yeah, because you wouldn't give me your definition of decent. Again, Legendary, stop being a dent and stop using slogans. Slogans are for those people that can't think critically. Define your terms. Define your terms, which you could not. This is entertainment. No. The only part of entertainment was anybody that can track an argument or track a conversation is like, I see what you're doing, Legendary. He asked you to find decent, and then you deflected with a sarcastic reply, and now you're just claiming that the conversation was going nowhere. But like, I noticed this all happened as soon as he asked you to just, hey, can you define decent? But yes, you're right. This is entertaining. It's entertaining to watch your mental gymnastics right now. Okay, 2 o'clock. Should get a little jumpy. Minutes coming right now at 2 o'clock. Should get a little jumpy. Let's see what happens. What is your reasoning? Again, all the deflection, Legendary. I'm not going to let you let this down. I want your definition of decent. Either that or just admit that, okay, yeah, maybe this topic is not as easy as what I just thought it was in my mind of rainbows and butterflies, which is a lot of politics. I cannot stand soundbite politics. Oh my goodness. The minutes. Oh, come on. Surely there's going to be a little bit more movement than this. What is your reasoning before entering a trade? Like, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but like because I think it'll be a winning trade, because I think I have an edge. Vesgo, no. We're under a bot attack. So no, there's not actually 3,800 people here. It's just a bot attack. FOMC meeting, no, the FOMC meeting is not happening. The FOMC minutes just came out. The FOMC meetings and meetings and announcements, that's where things usually get very spicy. But yeah, this is the minutes, which is why it didn't necessarily go like absolutely spastastic. What people need. Should a Starbucks company like Starbucks pay their business enough to afford housing? Well, does Starbucks exist in high cost of living markets? Does it exist? I think the answer to that is yes, right? So does that not therefore imply that they are paying their baristas enough to live there? Because if they weren't paying their baristas enough to live there, then they don't live there, and then therefore they cannot exist in high dollar areas. Well, I don't know. Are Starbucks in New York City? I thought to be restricts trading during major. So nice move here. I would have thought maybe a little bit more, but this isn't terrible for just the minutes. Okay. So since when is it Starbucks' responsibility to pay that person to not have multiple roommates? Well, why is the solution not that this barista should maybe find a skill set that allows her to not need roommates in New York City? Why is that not the solution? I'm back from the beach and this dude is still trading. Vlad, what are you talking about? This is one of the things that is like the most confusing. You see somebody's name that you know has been here a long, long time, and then they make a whoa. And then what they follow up with the whoa, it's like something that like Vlad, I'm not this is the normal times, man. Like what are we talking about? Well, someone has to do it. No, nobody has to be a barista. So no, nobody has to be a barista. Starbucks does not have to exist. But they do exist, which means they apparently are able to find employees to pay. Imagine defending big corporations paying low wages. I mean, I'm just trying to protect my fellow taxpayers that you apparently, I guess, want to take money from. I don't know. Again, what's a high wage? Well, it's a living wage. What's a living wage? Well, it's a decent living. Define decent. So Armand, if you want to actually give me some numbers, that'd be good. But right now you're burping up talking points that are just empty phrases. But Armin, I'm all for it. What is a high wage? Well, a high wage, again, that means people can have a decent living. Okay, well, define decent. That's all. That's all I'm asking. Define your word terms. That's all. I'm new to trading, so I just want to be the right track. Well, do you want to be a day trader, Momo? If they don't like where they're working, go right. Just get another skill set. But no, it's just. Well, I don't want to go get a skill set. I just want you to pay me more. Yeah, but you don't. Well, just pay me more. $100,000 a year is what people should get. Really? Somebody in Southern California should get $100 a year. In New York City, $100,000 a year. Does that even buy you a hot dog there? San Francisco? Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember saying anybody needs to be a rocket scientist. Here's what I wish the school system would teach, and this is what I'm gonna do with my kids, and why we homeschool. I'm gonna ask my kids, what do you want? In other words, like, what's your standard of living? And if my kid is like, Dad, I want mansions around the world. I want a fleet of private jets, and I want a fleet of yachts. I'm gonna say, cool. Let's look at those numbers. What will it cost to support this type of life? What will it cost? And we're gonna collect some numbers. Now we have a number. Okay, this is the number that'll get us what you described. Next step. What skill set will you need to get in order to generate these numbers that'll generate this life? What I described, I'm thinking probably the answers will be, okay, you're going to need to become a famous Hollywood actor. You need to become like a professional athlete, or you're going to need to like start a business and absolutely crush it. Those really seem to be the three skill sets available for that lifestyle. So at that point, my kid will probably say, okay, maybe that's a little excessive. What happens if I just want a home, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage, 2 cars? Okay, what will that cost? Let's do some numbers. Okay, here's the number. What skill set will you now need to go get to have that? Okay, maybe an engineer. I don't know, a nurse, maybe construction, but maybe you kind of start your own construction business. But everybody starts opposite. Nobody thinks about that. They get a bogus degree, no skill set, and then all of a sudden they expect people to just give them money. Nobody works backwards. So I'm not anti anything. Go get it. If your standard of living is a fleet of private jets, a fleet of houses around the world, go get it. But just figure out what that's going to cost and then go get the skill set that will allow you to have those numbers. There you go. What happens if everyone becomes a professional athlete? Well, no, not everybody's going to become a professional athlete. Not everyone is. I understand the hypothetical you're doing, but hey, let's talk reality. Some people are a little bit more motivated than other people. I don't think that's a controversial statement at all. So I understand your hypothetical. Right. So if you're not as motivated as somebody else, why do you still deserve their state as the same thing as the motivated person? Can you explain that? You just conceded. Yeah, exactly. Not everybody's as motivated as everybody else. Right. Right. That's my point. I think the people with more motivation, you know, exactly. So WYSA, temper your expectations. Maybe don't expect to live in a Malibu mansion someday. Temper those expectations because per your own admission, you don't have that skill set and you're not going to get it. Okay, I'm in that club too. So temper your expectations. Your goal is no longer to have a Malibu mansion. But for you to sit there and be like, hey, I'm motivated, I can't do it, but I want that Malibu mansion. Wait, what? I mean, I want a penthouse in New York City. But Clay, your skill set does not allow you to pay for one. I don't care. I want it because that's my definition of a decent standard of living. Again, my logic falls apart terribly. If this country was Somalia or like North Korea, I don't have any solutions. Those people are in a bad spot. So I self admit my solutions, my logic fails miserably in those sorts of countries. But we're not in those sorts of countries, are we? Does the motivated person need to serve him, fix his car, plumb his house? No, he doesn't need to do any of that. Nope. You don't have to I mean, you don't have to do anything work-wise. I'm not but I mean, to not do anything work-wise and then expect a bunch of handouts seems a little backwards. Right, because my argument applies to individuals. You're the one trying to like apply it to mass like, well, what happens if everybody becomes a professional athlete? It's like, well, I understand you're trying to display logic, but the fact of the matter is like not everybody's going to become a professional athlete because not everybody has that skill set. So yes, mine is geared to the individual. If you are in a developed country, I believe you have choices. I believe now choices does not mean you're going to get the Malibu mansion. But choices means yeah, you could find a house. Is the house where you grew up? Maybe not. Maybe you have to move somewhere. But if you want to stay where you grew up in that a house in that area, then go get the skill set. If you don't want to get the skill set, no problem. Then go move, then you're going to have to move someplace else if you want that same house. I want to be a professional cornholer. Do they make pretty good money? Cornhole is 250K a year. Man, how did we get back in this conversation? What led us here? Oh, it was Mr. Wall Street's fault. We talked to Falling Knives. Mr. Wall Street piped in, and then I made a comment about, oh yeah, somebody thought Mr. Wall Street was trolling. And I'm like, No, Mr. Wall Street's not trolling. We had a conversation about living wage and then protein, and then that's what opened up, and here we are. Okay, now that makes sense. So I'm going to blame Mr. Wall Street, who's funny enough, probably not even here anymore. Let's just all join the. Hey, there you go. You can try. Maybe a short here. Okay, not maybe I will. Gonna try. Whoops, did not want that. There we go. About an 8-point risk. Looking to get. Let's go up a little bit more. There we go. I just need to find. So I mean, I'm on a hot streak. I'm just irritating people left and right. I really need to. I should probably just like play it more middle of the lane, middle of the line. But yeah. So we got. I've irritated people from the housing perspective, from the living wage perspective, from the food perspective. What were we talking about today? There's something else. Oh, sports. From those that people that watch sports, which includes myself. I wonder what tomorrow will be. I wonder what subsect of people tomorrow I'll choose to irritate. We'll see. No, protein was today. I wonder how many people I caused trauma. They're like, please stop debating. It's like, well, how is anything going to get figured out or solved if people don't debate, huh? You don't irritate. Well, I mean, thankfully. That's why I know if you're still here, again, if you're still here, that does not necessarily mean you agree with me. In fact, it might mean something that I respect even more. And that is you disagree with me, but you're also an adult where you're like, Clay, we're just going to have to agree to disagree. Cool. Maybe AI tomorrow. I don't know. Do you think AI will... Well, I would just push back on your premise. I don't think it's as high of a skill set job as what you think relative to the supply and demand. You know what I mean? But I do fully agree with, I think, our belief systems. Or let me put it this way. It is also, okay, here we go. You got a high skill set and the person only has a 1-bedroom apartment. You tell that to somebody in Afghanistan or Somalia or North Korea and they see this 1-bedroom apartment, I bet they're like, holy smokes. I still remember my brother who did a couple of tours in Afghanistan and Iraq. Some of the houses I was buying for real estate, I would consider them kind of rough. But he was like, oh man, he's like, you don't understand. Like the people that I, came across in Afghanistan and Iraq, they would look at this house and be like, mansion. I am in heaven right now. Like I am in, so it is. A lot of this is a matter of perspective. But my point is, how do we ultimately define perspective? But yeah. Could you imagine like people like in Somalia listening to this conversation and they're like, I can't believe they're debating over 1-bedroom or forced. I don't even have a bed. I have like mud walls. I think that's why that's why this whole conversation is called like first world problems. You know what I mean? And again, to the person, If they have this high skill set and they don't like being able to buy a 1-bedroom apartment, have them open up Zillow and start to look around. Again, per your premise, they have a high skill set, aka in demand. So they have flexibilities of real estate. Well, I don't want to move to Kentucky. I don't want to move to Tennessee. I don't want to move to Missouri. I don't want to move to. Okay, well then I guess your priorities are the 1-bedroom apartment in the city you live in, and that's fine. That's fine. If your priorities truly are the house you live in, then you'll move. You'll move to somewhere else where you can get it, and that's what's great about America. You get to weigh your priorities. It's like my dad actually says, "Dad, I'm hungry," and then he offers me food. No, not that food. You know what my dad would say? Then you're not really hungry, are you? Yes, I'm quoting my dad, but man, my dad was a freaking philosopher. That's what's going on here. Everybody says, I'm hungry. Well, here's some food. Well, no, that house is not where I want the house to be. Then you're not actually that desperate for the house that you want, are you? So there we go. We'll call it. People aren't actually as hungry as what they claim to be, type of thing. By the way, I remember I always said, like, you'll say what your parents say, and that one I've never forgotten it, because actually that's deep philosophy right there. I'm hungry. Okay, you want a salad? No. Well then, you know what, Clay? You're not that hungry, are you? They should broadcast. There would probably be riots that started. Yeah, agreed. So WYSA, it sounds like we have some points where we're not agreeing, but like I said, WYSA, he's been here before, and that I respect him a whole lot. So for the people it's like, oh, so you ban people that don't agree? No, not at all. But WYSA, we had a good conversation. I can tell we're not in full alignment, and that's okay. That's okay. But he tracked the conversation. He heard me out. I did my best to hear him out, and we found some common ground. Yeah, I mean, all that tells me about New York City is that too many people have skill sets that are not good enough to not need roommates. I don't know, like, okay, so like, why are big cities so expensive? I don't actually know. My guess for New York City would be because people are competing against money from around the world. Like, I'm not sure how many people in Tokyo, like millionaires or billionaires in Tokyo, are necessarily looking to move like to Des Moines, Iowa. I'm not quite sure they're illustrated in like an apartment building in Des Moines, Iowa, or somebody in Missouri or Louisville, Kentucky. But I can see a lot of billionaires from Tokyo and Cairo and I'm trying to think of a South American country. What's the capital of Argentina or Brazil? I feel like I should know Brazil. What's the capital of Brazil? Anyways, my point is, there are people from in New York City, there's higher demand because it's New York City. A lot of people are wanting to live there. So like, yeah, if your skill set of a barista at Starbucks is actually going up against billionaires in Tokyo, billionaires in Cairo, Egypt, billionaires in Paris, France, billionaires in London, England, because a lot of people want to go to New York. So like, it's just, there's more demand. At least that's why I think big cities cost more, because you're not, like in Iowa, like you're competing against local dollars. But like the big cities, yeah, you're competing against people from literally around the world, which again, more demand, limited supply of housing, prices go up, prices stay up. So yes, if you want to be a barista, it sounds like it is possible in New York City, with the condition of you better be okay with multiple roommates. Because, the apartment that you actually want, sorry, you're bidding against a billionaire in Rome, Italy. Right. Competition in cities are higher because I think that there's just more international money too. Which again, why? Cough, cough. Southern Iowa, cough, cough. Is pretty cool. Cough, cough. Nice, beautiful cost of living. Cough, cough. Yes, when people think of Iowa, they just think of a flat cornfield. Cough, cough. But Southern Iowa is actually beautifully hilly. Cough, cough. With not a lot of traffic at all. Cough, cough. Anyways, nobody moved to Iowa because Iowa is garbage, okay? Anywhere but Iowa. Anywhere but Iowa. Iowa is garbage. It is. It's just one flat cornfield. That's all that's in Iowa is corn. It's flat. Nothing to see. There we go. And I think the other reason why I speak passionately is because if somebody says, well, how about you walk the walk? I did. I did. I moved to Iowa 2 years ago. I mean, multiple reasons, but one was, man, I can get a farm, I can get a homestead, I can get farmland. We can live the life that our family wants to live with a good chunk of land. I can't afford that here in Michigan. Well, first off, Michigan doesn't have a lot of open lots of land, but if they do, they're crazy expensive. And I don't have the skill set to afford those. So, hey, look in Iowa. There it is. So I walked the walk. I did exactly what I'm preaching. Well, I think keeping the West wild, that's an interesting conversation. I think that's where government should get completely out of it. Like you hear people, well, people that work at Walmart are on food stamps. It's like, well, yeah, if the government's going to subsidize their workforce, why is Walmart not going to be smart to the shareholders? So the question there, keeping us wild, is let's just remove government assistance. And guess what? Now companies are forced to have to pay people to be able to survive and live there, or else they're not going to have any employees. But if a company knows the government is providing assistance, it's like, well, let's just have them, let's let them subsidize. That's what's always, it's same with college, right? So let's all envision real quick. We start a business and we know that no matter what prices we charge, and now we'll raise them every year, but we know that no matter what price we charge every year, we're gonna have customers. Now, how can we know such a thing? Well, we know such a thing because we know the government is going to give our customers money. Do you know what business I'm talking about? It's called running a college or a university. Wow, man, college expenses are spinning out of control. Yes, because they know that no matter what they charge, their customers can afford it because their customers are given money by the government. Can you imagine what would happen with college prices if the government stopped lending out money and it became all private banks? I think college prices would start to drop pretty quick. But yeah, dang, can you imagine? We all start a business and we know that no matter what we charge, we're gonna have customers that can afford it. Dang, why would we not raise prices? Momo, I would recommend any books dealing with psychology. Books on trading are garbage because books are just going to show you pictures with hindsight and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, it's going to take more than any sort of like book. But books on psychology, just psychology in general, and trading psychology, I think those books can be helpful. Yes, but in all actuality, if you want to have my definition deployed perfectly, there should be no government. There shouldn't be. So in other words, in my mind, welfare should only be when the employment rate is at 100%. Like if there are quite literally no jobs out there, I'll be the first to step up and be like, okay, this person's truly looking for a job. Well, I want to help them out. Like I'm all for that. But like the fact that we have welfare when the employment rate is not when like there's jobs available, it's like wait a second, isn't that supposed to be the welfare market is the jobs market? But yes, I think if you just got the government out of the way, keeping the West wild, yeah, it'd be weird. Like employee or companies would just have to pay more now. But yeah, why would Walmart pay a full thing when they know that the government's subsidizing them anyways? They're making the system work for them. Their loyalty does not reside with anybody other than their shareholders. Which I don't know if I own Walmart anymore or not. Now the libs will say you want to starve children. No, they won't starve. Employees that that can't afford childcare and food for their kids aren't going to accept the job. And if they're not going to accept the job, then like Walmart's not going to have employees anymore. And if Walmart doesn't have any employees anymore, they're not going to be able to pay that dividend. And if shareholders aren't getting that dividend, they're going to dump the stock. And if they dump the stock, Walmart's price and stock is going to crash. And then eventually Walmart just goes out of business. So yeah, it would behoove Walmart to step in place of the government and now need to pay more. Man, I don't know. I have no idea. Was this a good stream, a bad stream? Did I irritate a bunch of people? I have no idea. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I love you, Clay, for simply applying common sense to topics that are seemingly complicated. Well, I try. I'm not perfect at it. Yeah, cheers, WYSA. Like I said, I've always enjoyed you, and I can tell we have some areas of needing to agree to disagree, but I'm good with that. You followed my lines of logic. You didn't start to deploy logical fallacies. You didn't start to duck questions or anything like that. You engaged the whole time, and I respect that 100%. All right, I might try a short here, actually. I am short at VWAP. We also have the 200 period SMA there on the 5-minute. Oh boy. All right, well, that one didn't go very well, so that's just fantastic. I don't even, I don't even want to know if this thing comes back down, so whatever. It is what it is. Well, thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm probably going to get a bunch of screw yous now because I irritated people, but if you did enjoy, if you can just enjoy the back and forth, trying to critically think through something, enjoy the trading, and you want to help support the stream, then you can save yourself some money while at the same time supporting the stream, as this is totally viewer supported. So code Clay, which is case sensitive, so it's got to be all caps Clay, with any of these prop firms. So all these prop firms, whatever deals and promotions they are running, code Clay will give you that deal. So right now, Take Profit Trader, their flash sale of 50% off and no activation fee is going on, which is genuinely a good deal, not one that they have a lot. And yeah, like I said, code Clay will give you that with Take Profit Trader, who I use, I recommend, I love. So if you've been on the fence, I don't know, should I try Take Profit Trader? Now would be a good time to try. And anybody will tell you that, yeah, 50% is a rarity, not by any means some sort of thing that they do every other week. So now would be the time to take advantage of it. And like I said, if you use any of these other prop firms, code Clay, save yourself some money, help support the stream. So thank you, everybody, for being here. I'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern at the very latest. So make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications so you can be reminded of when I go live. But thank you, everybody, for being here. It was a good one, fun one. And for everybody that sparred back and forth, it's good for us. It's good. Using that brain muscle, I would argue, is a good thing. So take care, everybody.